And your pasta, no clue far from the land. Tottenham stranded, in shadows, no man's land. Lost on the pitch, echoes in the night. Fans screaming loud, no end in sight. Shift the blame like drifting sand. Promises empty, no steady hand. Wandering clueless in the football mist. Wishing for a twist, but nightmares persist. Shift the blame like drifting sand. Promises empty, no steady hand. Wandering clueless in the football mist. Wishing for a twist, but nightmares persist. Where's the Leo we waited in vain? Pains us deeply every season the same. No direction, stumbling blind. Tottenham's lost its mind. Speechless, impressed, they're at the ground. No solutions, nowhere to be found. Fast on the side, hearts turned to stone. Stadium echoes a lonesome drone. Breakfast in the air, they speak of change. Up on the horizon feels so strange. Question marks in every wayward pass. And goes the future fading fast. Where's the Leo we waited in vain? Pains us deeply every season same. No direction, stumbling blind. Tottenham's lost its mind. Where's the Leo we waited in vain? Pains us deeply every season same. No direction, stumbling blind. Tottenham's lost its mind.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Tottenham Away, the best place to be in town on a post-match analysis day. Great to have you here as always. Smash a like, hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow Dan E, the Hotspur Hood, as well. If you're not a Spurs fan, welcome to the channel. Good to see all the people that weren't in the comments when we got beaten by Crystal Palace back here tonight. Pick and choose when you want to come, eh? I like it. I like it. I see you. Anyway, good win for Spurs. Through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. We're in the last 8. That's what we wanted. Ange went strong. We spoke about him needing to go strong, even if City put in a weakened team, which in the end had quite a lot of kids on the pitch, but it doesn't matter. We did what we had to do. We're through to the next round. We'll talk about it. A lot of good points, some really worrying things as well, but we'll get into it all. Overall, boys, we're all happy, right? Got the win, through to the next round, in the hat for the last 8.
Trophy.
Can't complain with that.
I
2-1 over City.
can smell trophy. We're closer. We're closer. We're closer. 3 more wins to a trophy. My second Spurs trophy, maybe. Second one in my lifetime watching Spurs. So,
James, how are you feeling about that? I know, obviously, we listen. We all want to win when we win. Good stuff. I guess the question is, James, and look, let's. Do you know what? In fact, let's just cut the bullshit. Let's get straight to Let's get straight down to it. Yes, we won. Yes, we're happy, of course. Are we confident off the back of that? You know, did we learn anything new, or was it one of those where it's hard to tell?
I always win in my second season. No, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. For me, I actually thought that we played okay. I just think we don't have the quality, especially in that final third. I thought we did everything. If we had a different front three, I think we win that game like comfortable, absolutely comfortable. And I think we've always had a problem where we've had one or two. If someone gets injured, then you bring in like a weaker backup. But I think this season's the first season where I've looked at our front three and gone, you're all like a backup. Like we don't have anyone in this squad. For me, I was thinking halfway through the game, name one player in our squad that gets you off your feet and think you're going to make something out of nothing. We just have no one like that. And that is where I feel if we want to win the cup, we're going to need something like that. But there's only 3 games left and we could win it in theory.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a good game up front, shaky as ever, but we took a couple of chances that we had, and that's why we ended up doing them 2-1. Defence, towards the end, talk about scrimp and scrape at the back, but we stuck to it and got what we needed. And yeah, it definitely showed spaces in there where we need to support players more, and it definitely showed that City have got a very strong B team out there, but we still done them, whether it's their B team or not. So I'm happy with that.
Sava, the question we were asking is, did we learn anything new tonight? Because it's so difficult when you don't put out your strongest team, but you put out a stronger team than what City put out. And it was such a difficult game to judge anything, but we won it and we're in the next round of the cup. So what do we take from that other than we're in the last 8?
It's hard to say, really. I mean, I think what we take from that is I think we're better when we don't play all this stupid high line handball. I actually think we're a better team on the transition. When we were countering, we looked bloody dangerous. I think when we have all possession and loads of people up front and play the high line, I think we look defensively weaker, and I don't think we look as good attacking. That's what I took from it. Look, some really good performances today. There were some really good performances today, some really shit ones as well. But end of the day, Pep told us he was going to put out a weak team. He did put out a weak team. We capitalised. And then for me, the moment still in that game, the moment for me was when Pep started to make substitutions with about half an hour to go. You're thinking if you bring on Haaland and you want to win the game. He's bringing on kids left, right, and centre. I think Pep was he was laughing and joking at the end. He was almost happy to be out. But we still had to win the game. And I don't know what you guys thought, but I thought the moment Savinho went off, I thought that was us won. I thought
That's what I said in the chat. I said that
again. He made Udogie look like Udogie is a terrible defender. I'll say it all day, every day. Him and Archie Gray are absolutely toilet. But look, it was a good win. It was a good win. I'm obviously all the comments have started in my chat already. Still, that masterclass. We're back. Angie's look. We beat a team we should have beat. For me, the team they put out, we should have beat them, and we did. No complaints from me tonight. We won. We move on, and hopefully we get a decent draw that's taking place right now. If you want me to, Tottenham have just been drawn up. We're at home. No.
Yeah, tell us.
Right, we're at home, and we're at home to number 5. We're at home to Manchester United. We're at home to Man United. Sorry, I came at the right time.
Has the rest been drawn?
I don't know. No, yeah, number 7. Sorry, am I turning into Sky Sports here? Arsenal are at home to
Liverpool.
Number 3,
Brentford.
Arsenal are at home to Crystal Palace.
They'll beat them.
Fuck's sake. How?
Arsenal to Crystal Palace. Do you want to stick with me still for the last 2
Yeah,
draws?
yeah.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
it.
go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a job on Sky Sports. Number 6, Newcastle United.
Liverpool, right? Liverpool,
Or
isn't it?
Brentford. Or
Are
Southampton.
going to play number 1, Brentford. Newcastle Brentford.
So it's Liverpool, Southampton.
So it's Liverpool, but which way round? Because if it's at Liverpool,
I don't think it matters. Liverpool won at Brighton today.
yeah, they're a good team, aren't they? Southampton are at home to Liverpool. Southampton are at home to Liverpool. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'll pass it back to you.
Saba, read it out again. So what's the quarterfinals?
Tottenham, Man United, Newcastle, Brentford, Arsenal, Palace, and Southampton, Liverpool.
We've probably got the hardest tie, I'd say, out of that lot.
Oh, easily, yeah. Especially now they got a new manager coming in.
Yeah, now they've got a new manager. They look very happy
take
today.
them over Liverpool and Arsenal. I'll be honest, I don't want to play Liverpool or Arsenal at this stage.
All day I'd take Man U over Liverpool and Arsenal.
Yeah,
all
all
day,
day.
whether home or away.
That'll be a
Man U are
sellout.
going to be tricky with their new manager because if they get the manager, he's the one that quite a few of us wanted. But
it's going to come down to the starting 11s. If do they go strong? Do they go semi-weak? How many kids do you play? It's gonna come down to that for me again. It's the Carabao Cup. Really, teams don't take it proper serious as in the full strength squad until the semi-finals. But maybe it'll change.
When is it? When is the games? Do we know? Is it like November, December?
I don't know. I know the semi-finals in January, February, then the finals in March, isn't it? So it'll be either late November or December. I think it's December.
I think it's early December. Yeah. The thing is, we need. I mean, looking at that front three, man, we need serious work there to be able to finish teams off. Like, we're not going to get 4 chances every game to score 1 goal. We're going to need somebody to actually put goals away. When it comes to Solanke, I actually thought in the first half his hold-up play it's actually phenomenal. His hold-up play is just a joke, and his work rate is a joke. But as a threat, he's just not a threat. He's not a threat. If I was a centre back, I'd say you can have the ball, mate. Stand there, do nothing. Like he's not a threat.
Listen, we're going to come on to the players, James. I made a very big deal about Solanke the last 2 shows, and fans didn't want to hear it. I went on Dan's show, and I spoke about Solanke as well. We'll talk about him, though. Super chat from a user: with the teams left, we can't keep missing chances, which is pretty much what James has been saying. And to be fair to James, he's been saying all season we've got a championship front three. He has been saying that for a long time. Matt, let me come to you. Big up to Michael, by the way. Matt, what did you make of the game then? You're still very much Anjin. We had a 1-hour debate today on the phone where we disagreed about everything, but you are very much Anjin. Do you feel confident off of this game going into the Villa game? Do you feel like, there's something now we can take into the next game? Because we've got this habit of, God, then talk about it.
No, we are consistently inconsistent. So, there's so many problems at the moment. I'll take the win, but when players like Ben Davies are having to come on at this kind of stage of a season is a huge worry. I thought Dragerson was very good today. I thought at times Kulu was very clever on the ball today, but there's still so many problems with the makeup of the team. We want to play at 100 miles an hour all the time. So even when we've won the ball back, we want to play this fast break football against the best attacking team in the Premier League. So we're passing the ball when players aren't even back in their position. It just looks chaotic at times. We're an architect of our own demise at times. We create our own turnovers. There's still a lot of work to do, but having said all of that, I'd have snatched your hands off to win this game today. So we're in the hat for the next round, but still more questions than answers.
Can I quickly ask like a devil's advocate question, if you don't mind still, right? Because you said that we play this like chaotic football, we were trying to break really fast and all that, right? But for me, that was the tactic to beat City today. I don't think we, like, whenever we tried to positionally play against them, I feel like we just had no ideas. I feel like this game for me looked like Conte or Jose games against City, just with a bit more like technicality and a bit more chaos, if you know what I mean. So I actually look at today's game and I think we are kind of made to have less possession, right, and all that stuff. But I think it was a right choice to try and beat City today. I don't know if you agree.
Guys, do we agree, Michael? Do we agree on this? Do we agree on this? Right, we played a weakened Man City team. Had quite a few kids starting, and their naivety allowed a lot of space in behind. And what we did well was we exploited that space in behind very quickly. We didn't take 400 passes to get the ball in behind. We took about 3-4. We were in one touch, and then when we got into that final third in the first 20 minutes. I mean, the pass from Kulu to Werner was on the money. Top pass from Kulu. All Werner had to do...
Kulu again. This guy has a serious issue with City.
Quality pass with Kulu. Yeah, look, he loves playing them. And all Werner had to do was get it on target in the corners, and he did. For once, he did. And then the second goal, it was actually a really good set piece from Spurs. You can see they worked on it. Short corner, squared the edge of the box. And listen, the hit from Pape Sarr was quality. He's curled it near post. It was a brilliant finish from Pape Sarr. And then we created quite a few chances. And like James said, we missed Solanke. Then it was Johnson. Then it was Werner back to his usual habits. And then we backed off. We allowed City into the game. They started dominating. They got the goal they deserved. And then second half, it was pretty much they had a lot of possession, pinned us in, couldn't quite get enough big chances. Maybe if they had Haaland on the pitch, to get on to the end of those crosses, it would be a different story. We broke through like we did in the first 20 minutes. We did it again in the second half. I mean, how Kulu hasn't squared it to Johnson or Werner to score, I don't know. Yeah. How Werner, when he went one-on-one, didn't score. How Solanke, when he went one-on-one, didn't score. It was just miss after miss. I thought a better City team, it's not like that. But given the weak team that City were, we created a lot of big good quality chances, which is kind of what Sava said. We expect to do that, right? So it was, we took advantage of a weak City team. We took advantage.
You're
saying like a weakened City team, and I agree, it's a weakened City team. But I'll take all their front three over our front three. I'll take Gundogan over any of our midfielders, and I'll take their whole back line over any of our back line.
No, that's disingenuous, James. That's
Sava,
really...
they had Stones, Diaz, and Ake, and Tricolores starting that game, right?
The back four, sure. The back four, sure.
So that's.
But them going forward.
Nunes.
I mean, Nunes, Savinho, and Foden as a.
Nunes was okay. Nunes was okay.
You've got I'll take him over Timo Werner.
He was up against Archie Gray. It wasn't hard, was it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. You've got Nunes, who isn't a left winger. You've got Foden, who's not a number 9. You've got Nico Riley and James McAtee. Listen, let's be fair. We should be beating that team. I'm not taking anything away from it. But when Man City put that 11 out, you've got to be beating that team at home. If there's anything about it as a football club, why is it so wrong to say we should be winning that game?
I don't think the players that we played are very good.
I mean, James, with what you said there, mate, I must admit I'm a bit more on your side on this one, for the sheer fact that if we put them teams next to each other, 11-11, I reckon there's a majority of the Man City ones that we'd have on our team instead of the Spurs ones we had there. Yeah, all right. It's City's weaker team. You can even say it's their, I wouldn't quite say B, maybe their B team as such. And that just shows how good they are. The fact that with their B team, even I'd have put 6 of those players in our first team. So it wasn't exactly like
but it's not an exact
we were
science,
playing
Dan.
against.
It's not an exact science. Phil Foden, for example, wouldn't start up front over any of our strikers. He's not a striker. Yeah.
So you wouldn't have Phil Foden over Solanke.
Yeah, but
No.
they still had 9
No.
quality players. They still had 9 quality players on the pitch that are better than ours, right?
I feel like this is really disingenuous
Alright,
now.
alright.
Okay, guys, hold on 1 minute. Right, let's look at
Rewriting
it.
history here.
Let's look at it. Right. Ortega in goal, not a bad backup.
I'll
Rico
have
Lewis.
Vicario over him.
Lewis, would you have him over our starting 11?
Yeah.
Who?
I wouldn't have
Of
him
Archie
over
Gray.
Oro, I think, but over Gray definitely.
Okay, Archie Gray.
Yeah.
Stones, you'd say,
Yeah,
you'd have him over
100%.
Ben Davies or okay, Ake, Akanji. Are we agreed about defenders? Gundogan? Who
Yeah,
you drop him for
100%.
Gundogan?
I would have
Oh yeah,
him
good
now.
again. Yeah, easily. Up the field. Yeah.
But the thing is, still, you've got to take.
McCarthy, O'Reilly.
No,
But
those
what
two
you've
guys,
got to
no,
take
they are
into
kids, right?
account, what you've got to take into account is the same thing our fans do when we mix our team up. First of all, this is a team that have never that Man City 11 would have never have played together before. Gundogan isn't a deep lying player that plays there. Normally, it's Kovacic or Rodri. He'd be like the third or fifth choice to play in that position. I think, look, Man City had a decent team out, but you don't look at that team and go, Dan, we talked about this at the beginning. Me and Dan talked about this. When you look at that 11 they put out, so they've got some good players. I don't think they've got the goal power. We said this before the game, and I said this throughout my whole watching. I don't feel like they've got goals in that 11. They had all their main goal scorers missing: Doku, Grealish, Haaland, De Bruyne. Silva didn't start the game. Yeah, all of their top goal scoring players were missing, and that's why I felt comfortable throughout the whole game. The good team, but
I'm not denying that. I'm just denying that the fact that our team, in my opinion, if you think we should be beating those, you rate our team better than I do.
No, I don't rate our team better. It's just this is a Man City team that aren't going full gung-ho to win that game.
You know, I get that, but Man City C team is better than our A team. So they're for me.
James, we had more of a full team than they did, didn't we? We had more of our first team than they did, yeah? So I'm with both of you on that one then, yeah? We had most of, I'd say we had about, what, eight of our main team now?
Unfortunately.
And, and they had a proper, much more mixed match-up team and that.
Agreed.
But the fact is, there's still 6 players of that team that I'd rather have on our first team. But this team should be a lot more used to playing with each other and that. We've been doing it all season. They've been doing it all last season, basically, Solanke. It's a bit of both sides, this one, for me. Because, again, you can still look at 5, 6, their players, whatever, and say they'd easily walk into our team.
Oh, look, here he is on his way back from the game. Look at him all dressed up in the Levy clobber, straight fresh out the shop.
Why are you attacking me, man? Calling me a Levy love.
That's how this show goes. That's how this show goes.
This is not how you welcome your guests, my friend.
Oh, sorry. So talk about Vicario at the end with that wonderful.
He's awful, by the way. Awful goalkeeper.
Corner that he absolutely.
The problem
that was bad.
We're through, man. Relax. We're through to the next round. We knocked out Man City. We got Man United at home, so another home tie. So, listen. At the end of the day, we have to always start with a positive, man. No one thought we was going to win tonight, man. Listen, these kids are phenomenal.
I predicted a win. The receipts on YouTube before kickoff. I said I think we'll just beat them.
Listen, man. Listen, I don't know how you guys saw it, but these kids that they got, now they are phenomenal, man. Each one of them can make that first team now, and still do well. I'm surprised Haaland didn't come on sooner. I'm truly shocked they didn't come on, because I felt like that for all the tiki taka, great, but if you're not working the keeper, and one thing we did tonight is we had so many chances. The mediocrity of the players that we had fallen that the chances fall to, it was clear to see. The only one I was surprised a little bit, I thought Kulusevski could have done better, because he was, for me, our best player alongside, I think, Bissouma. The second half was really good.
He saved our ass on the line, didn't he?
Yeah, for me, they were by far two best players, and I think Gray, he got skinned at first. I thought, you know what, he held his own, man. I thought he held his own in the end.
Once Savio went off, yeah.
Sorry?
Once Savio. Hey, actually, can I ask you something?
One thing we never did, though, Stel, I'll say this. We
Yeah.
never, as a team, disunited. We always stayed together. We defended a lot. We run a lot. 60 minutes without the ball was not easy thing to do, man. But one thing I saw it, man, throughout, the team never disunited at any point of that match. Never. Listen, I was shitting bricks, man, when they scored just before the half. I thought, man, these lot are gonna come strong. We stuck to it, man, and we had so many chances. Like how many times in Man City? I know that this is the depleted Man City side, but there was a different side than normal. But how many times did Man City give you 5-6 opportunities to score? Never, man. And it was our mediocrity that we didn't take those chances. But at the end of the day, I still feel in the end we were worthy winners of that game. I'm sorry, I have to say that because
I want to ask something. I want to ask something, right? So
Yeah.
we were saying that when Savio went off injured for Man City, it's almost like that's it. You know, then they're not going to.
Yeah, but mate,
they're not going to do. Well,
mate,
hold on, Iggy, 1 minute.
Go on.
And the second thing was, I think there's about 15 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go. They had one substitution left, and instead of bringing on Haaland, they brought that young kid that kind of played, I think, centre back. He looked quite good as well, but the choice not to do that, was that not a message from Pep? I'm not actually bothered about winning it. I'm going to use it to develop a player here.
No, man, I'm sorry, but
because he brought on Haaland. So why didn't he bring on Haaland then?
Yeah,
why
but if that had been the other way around, we would have.
No, but I'm not talking about the other way around. I'm not talking about the other way around. It's about what Pep did.
No. But if that had been the other way around, we would have destroyed Postecoglou. I hope Man City fans are destroying Pep.
No, Iggy, not having
Why
this
would
at
you
all.
not bring Haaland? You got one sub
Iggy?
left. Why would you not bring him on?
Iggy, because Pep Guardiola told everyone all week, yeah, this isn't my aim. This isn't our interest. Man City win Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues, Iggy. We're Tottenham. For us, winning this League Cup, look how much it will mean to everyone. Man City don't give a flying monkey. So Man City fans aren't going to be going, can't believe you bought on Haaland. They don't care. They're winning proper things.
They're all the better for us, Sab. I don't mind. If they don't care,
why did they bring on
all
Vardy
the
and
better for
Kovacic then?
us. What are we talking about? Are we complaining that Man City didn't care enough?
You've missed my question, guys. You've missed my question. You've turned to something else. My question was Savio going off and Pep's decision to say, do you know what? I'm not going to go with Haaland to try and win it. I'm going to bring on this kid. Was those two moments not the moment where City almost said to Spurs, "Go on then"? Because that's how I felt when those two things happened.
In all honesty, I couldn't give two flying shits what their plan was. The main thing for me was he didn't come on. It didn't affect the game, and it worked out all better for Spurs. Why do I care what the objective was? The objective for us.
He's just
tonight,
asking a question. We always do this. He's just asking you a question. He's not saying if you care. He's asking a question.
I'm not cussing him for asking me the question. Don't take that I'm cussing him for that. I'm saying from my perspective, from a Spurs perspective, that's a good name, Spurs perspective. Anyway, right? From our perspective, who cares? He done us a favour for not bringing Haaland on. It worked better for us. Do you know what I mean? I wish we had Haaland because honestly, Solanke tonight, guys. Solanke, all our front three were really awful tonight. Really, really awful. Yeah. And I couldn't save any of those guys. But you know what? That's something perhaps for another day. Tonight, man. Listen, after the Palace game, I thought even if they made changes, I didn't think we'd have enough to do. I didn't see how we'd come out victorious out of this game. The fact that we did, and we now got a home tie against Man United. A home tie for me, it always favours us. All right, it's going to be a different Man United in December, but whatever, we'll deal with that then. But we get to see this cup a little bit longer, and who knows, man? If we get through this Man United game, it opens up a little bit. So
look at it, I think City definitely wanted to win it. They definitely went for it. No two ways about it. They did. It's just when it comes to it.
In all honesty,
Sama, sorry. If they didn't want to win, why did they bring on Guardiola and Kovacic halftime?
Because of the obvious.
He didn't give a fuck.
Because of the obvious. When he brought on Kovacic and Vardiol, who did he take off, Michael? Let's look at the basics here. Who did he take?
And
All right.
Gundogan,
No,
right?
Right.
Look at the other side of it.
Yeah, but
The
right,
players
hang
on
on,
the
hang on.
pitch.
If he
they
seriously
wanted to
didn't
win.
give a fuck, didn't give a fuck, why didn't he start under 21s?
Michael,
Right? He's whining in the pressers that he has a lot of injuries and he has no squad depth, right? So if he seriously doesn't give a fuck, right, and if he seriously doesn't care if he loses this game, why risk any of his players like he did with Savinho? And now Savinho will be out for a couple of months, right?
Yeah, but Michael, that's not how Pep works. Pep never goes. No, Michael. Okay, tell me, prove me wrong. Name me a game where Pep has ever gone, there's 11, 19, 18-year-olds. He doesn't do it. The reason why Pep Guardiola is the greatest manager in world football is because he rotates his players and gets them all minutes. So he wasn't going to come to a game like this and say, Nunes, you don't play every week, but you're not going to play in this game either. We're going to play a 19-year-old. Pep Guardiola, if he really wanted to win that game, at half-time, he wouldn't have taken off the first team for the first team, would he? He would have taken off the kids for his first team. But he didn't. He swapped out Ava Vardiol.
Sava, do you not feel that perhaps even with this team, he thought this would be enough to beat that Tottenham side?
I don't know. He said a week, hasn't he? Pep has said
It's
all
a
week.
weaker. Listen, it's a weaker team, and for sure, this perhaps wasn't the priority for him. Up to that point,
That's the better word, Iggy.
but
Priority.
I won't
Right? It wasn't the
accept that
priority. But
I won't accept that he still didn't put out a team which, even as many changes as he made, and the priority wasn't this. This cup isn't his priority. I still feel that he played to win that game. I don't think he went out because
If he
honestly,
played to win it, he wouldn't have bought on Pusey, he wouldn't have bought on Wright. He would have been bringing on Erling Haaland. If he
he brought
really,
on Bernardo Silva. He brought on Bernardo Silva as well.
who did he take off for Bernardo Silva? All of the players he brought on, he took off first team for first team. He didn't take off teams for first team.
Listen, I hear you guys loud and clear, but that's his prerogative.
Mari,
That's his
let Mari
business.
go. Let Mari say goodbye and then go on, Mari. Do you say your
Yeah, I
goodbye?
gotta go. Just a couple of things. The positive, we move on with 3 wins away.
By the way, we're happy that we won tonight.
Possibly, I have a little sore throat. Possibly my second ever Tottenham trophy. Possibly. So 3 wins away.
One step at a time.
Timo finally scored, but then he's still shit. So I'll say something nice. Finally, Timo, you finally scored. The third positive thing is just that we were able to grind it out in the second half. That injury by Savinho definitely helped in that sense because I thought that we were going to come back. The negatives, BDV, man, and we play Villa next.
We're going to get onto that. We're going to talk about Van de Ven. We're going to talk about it.
That's very concerning. And the second thing is Solanke, man. Well, Udogie, he got cooked. It's just terrible. And then Solanke is, man, he's playing terrible. He has to play better. He was terrible today. If there were not man of the match, the worst player of the match for our team, it had to be Solanke. He is terrible. Him and Udogie, terrible.
Did you not see Timo?
Basuma?
At least he put it in the back of the net.
Just.
Listen, Murray, I'm going to bring in Ian because he's been sitting in the back.
We move on and come on, Spurs.
Big up to Murray.
Mate.
Right, let's bring in Ian. There he is. What's up, Ian? You all right?
Good evening. Nice to win, isn't it? Nice to dig out a victory, isn't it? As well.
Oh yes.
I don't get carried away. Right? By now, you should know what I'm like. I don't get sucked
Yeah,
in.
no. Listen, we won. I'm happy. Whenever we win, I'm happy, regardless of all the rest of all the rest of the rubbish that goes all around it. We won a game tonight, so I'm happy. End of. I'm pissed off when we lose, and I'm happy when we win. I'm a fan.
I'm the same. Look, I'm not sitting here thinking Tottenham Hotspur the greatest team in the world right now. I'm not saying.
No.
I'm just happy that I've come away watching the Man City, us play against Man City, however the changes, whatever their motives were, whatever the situation, we've come out there victorious, won, and we're through to the next round. That's, for me, that's the ultimate thing that could have happened tonight. The best outcome that could have happened tonight did happen. For that, I'm happy about. Whether we go on to win it and everything else, whatever, what the motives Pep Guardiola, with the changes that he made, mate, we lost 2 of our centre-backs tonight. We lost Romero and Van der Ven for injury, and we ended up the game with Ben Davies, and come on, man, it's like honestly, like they I don't know, man. I'm just happy with the outcome, and obviously,
them City players wanted to win that game as much as them Spurs players.
Yeah,
whether
listen,
Pep did or not.
With
Pep, I think it was 50-50. Pep was like, if I win it, sweet, I want to win it, but if I don't, I've still got 3 others to look at.
Yeah,
exactly. So I think they wanted it just as much as we did.
Don't forget, Dan, these young players that came on to play for Man City, they wanted to make a good, a show. They wanted to.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm sitting here agreeing with you.
They wanted, for me to say that, they weren't bothered. Yeah, maybe in the back of their heads, they weren't bothered about it. But
no, the players were. Man City players wanted it.
In terms of the EFL Cup, it's probably the 3rd, 4th cup down the list for them. You know what I mean? They've got bigger fish to fry, as the saying goes.
But we didn't just give them the possession. They run us ragged all over the place and that, and we was chasing them about like endless chickens at one point.
Yeah.
And they tried for it. It's just with Pep, he wanted to win that through his words, same as he's copied what Mourinho said before, is I want to win every competition I go into. So he obviously does want to win it. It's just there's better out there, and it weren't the end of the world that he didn't win it. So they wanted to win it.
Yeah.
I love our fan base.
Whatever
helps us sleep at night. Whatever helps us sleep at night.
Iggy, was you singing "I Love Big Ange" instead?
But guys, I'm a bit confused. What is it that you guys wanted out of the outcome? Like, if we go through, it's because it's to the demerit of the opposition. If we don't go through, then we fucking slam us. I don't understand. Like, I'm maybe because it's the adrenaline of the game, and I've just come out of there, and I'm thinking to myself, it's like you're doomed if either way. It's like if we don't make it.
Stell asked the question, and he said, at the moment when Savinho came off, was it that moment when you realised, but that was the moment. I said it in my watch along. They're not interested. The fact he didn't bring on Erling Haaland, they had no goal scorers on the pitch. Who was worried? Who was worried with all the players?
I was get shitless for 90 minutes.
I wasn't worried. I was worried for the whole game. I thought the amount of chances we're missing, I'm thinking Man City are going to claw this back at the very minimum.
That's what I thought. That's what
I'm with my bro here, and we was like, these guys are going to score, man. They're going to leave it to the last minute to score.
See, I never felt they were going to score.
They did it at the end with the offline, the clearance off the line. So,
that was the only thing they had.
I think I said different game.
Mario make a save the whole game. I haven't seen the stat. I can't remember him actually making a save.
One or two, but straight at him, right? So not
out of the 15 shots, only 3 was on target. Only 3 of them went on target.
You know what? I think Iggy. I think there's 2 types of fan on this show right now. There's fans like you, Ian, and a couple of the other boys who are, look, we won, we beat City. That's what we wanted. Yeah. And then you've got the other fan. Sorry, Matt as well. Then you've got fans like me, which is. I said we beat West Ham because they're shit. So if we do beat them, I'm like, yeah, okay, good, whatever. And then we go and do what we did against Palace, and then it's like reality check. Tonight, when I saw the 2 starting lineups, if you go on YouTube in the community page, it's all there. I said Spurs win this when I looked at the 2 starting lineups. And then as the game went on, I thought, 2-0. At 2-1, I thought, do you know what? Maybe City might do something. But when Savio went off and they didn't bring on Haaland. They brought on that youngster instead. I said to myself, do you know what? I don't think the players on the pitch are going to play to lose. They're going to go for the win, but they don't have enough on the pitch now to win it.
Thank you.
So for me,
that's all I was trying to say. Still,
I think
everyone thinks I'm not happy. That's all I was trying to say, mate. That's all I was trying to say. I wasn't
So
worried. The moment Haaland didn't come on, to answer to bring this full circle back to your original question, still, because everyone now makes it out like, oh, you're not happy. I'm happy we won the game. If anyone watched my watch along, you'd know. But the moment he didn't bring on Haaland, and the moment I saw him subbing off first team players and leaving the kids on, you realised it wasn't important to him. Every time they panned to him on the bench, Pep was laughing and smiling. Akanji was joking with Haaland. They're losing the game. I just thought, we've got this. I wasn't worried.
But that doesn't mean that we have to diminish the win, right? The vibe I'm getting, I'm not saying you necessarily try to do it, right? But the vibe I'm getting is the fact that we shouldn't celebrate the fact that we knocked out Manchester City, right?
No one said that. That wasn't Stell's question. Right? You guys can't hear a question and stick with it. Stell's question was.
I'm not talking about Stell's question. I'm talking about
that's what
overall. I feel like.
Where are you feeling that from? Where are you feeling that from? From who?
Yeah,
because
exactly from me, from the question.
Let me explain. Because Iggy and I, we come in and say that we are happy that we won it. No, but City didn't want it. No, but this. No, but that.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Still asked the question.
I said, do you think these two moments were the moment?
Yes. I think after Savio injury, they didn't give a fuck, right? I was still scared shitless, but I am happy that we won, right?
But in contrast, what I want to say is that I was worried when Van de Ven went off straight away. It meant that Udogie, who wasn't 100% fit, had to play. I was worried when Romero went off because all of a sudden, we might have had closer to the first.
Was he injured? Romero come off injured, by the way?
Or was he come off. He asked to come off. He literally a few minutes into the second half, he came off. So we ended up with Ben Davies at the back playing with Dragusin, Archie Gray, and you can see the defence was like, all of a sudden, it lost its certainties, or the few certainties that we have at the back, with Van de Ven and Romero going off. Then I saw Sarr being replaced at half-time with Basuma. Okay. And then you're like, mate, what's going on here? And then to end the game with Mikey Moore and Richarlison, thinking, these guys are playing with kids, but we've seriously, we've gone from playing the non-first teamers to the subs to the players hardly ever play into the team. And I just thought, mate, the game's not done here. It's still 2-1. Listen, I understand everything you guys said in terms of the Man City. I just want to look at it more closer to home and say, you know what? I was worried after the Palace game because more worried in the sense of it was a bad defeat all round. It was a bad day at the office. So then having Man City and into the next round. And this is, I feel like this because if we're going to have any chance of trophies, I think this is the one we need to pursue with. And there's some good teams out there still. Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, they're all still in it. And forgive me if I can't remember who the other one is right now, but there's still some good teams. And I think the longer this goes on, the more possibility, at least, to believe that we can possibly have a possibility to triumph in this competition. That's how I want to look at it tonight.
Does anyone here think we can realistically beat? Because we're gonna play Man United next. Maybe after, if we get past United, Liverpool, and Arsenal, at some point we're going to play a team that plays their full strength team.
Bradford,
but we'll play our full strength team as well. Do you think we've got enough up front to get past them? Because going by tonight up front, we look poor.
Well, could I play like devil's advocate in that, and then sort of almost rephrase it and say, do I think that do I think we could beat Arsenal now? No. But if they've got Champions League and they've got someone like Bayern Munich home and away, then us in the middle of that, it becomes a different game. So it all depends, luck of draw, when the game's played, what happens in January, is there any injuries, do we get our full squad back, can we buy anybody? There's a lot to go on.
What if we've got Lazio home and away? Yeah,
but I think that's easier for us than it is for them kind of thing. I think that for me, I think that we're on the same sort of par as Lazio, if not a better team. Whereas if they go away to Bayern or something like that,
You
then I
just
think
told me all our players are crap. Which one is it? Either these players are so good.
So you're Savage. So you're doing what the chat does, where I never said that. You're making stuff up. This is what you say.
You rate our players better than I do.
Tell me. You tell me where I said all of our players are crap. Tell me where I said all of our players are crap.
You know what I mean, James.
No. When people do this to you, you throw your toys out the pram. You tell me when I said that.
This player, that player. Now all of a sudden, yeah, but Lazio's easy for us. Like, what?
Wait, so hold on a minute. Hold on. One, I never said Lazio's. One, I never said Lazio is easier than us. Two, I never said all our players are crap. I said I'll take Man City's backline over our backline. I'll take Phil Foden, Gundogan, and Savinho.
Blow like the wind, my friend. You change like the wind. You keep doing it.
No,
you just made it all up. Yeah, you just made it all up. Someone don't like your chat, you go mad. I did not say all our players were crap. I did not say that we are better than Lazio. So you just took your shit. You might argue yourself.
Lazio would be easier for us than Bayern Munich would be for Arsenal. Why?
Right. Yeah. I think we're closer to their level than Bayern Munich are to Arsenal. That's what I think.
I'm going to change the subject. Right? I'm going to bring it back on the game. Right. Let me bring in.
Guys, I'm going to jump off because I'm going to hang on. Still, sorry to interrupt. I'm going to jump off because I'm going to go on the country roads now. So I'll head off. Guys, have a good stream.
See you again. See you later, Ricky. We've got a quick super chat from Dietrich Kane. Says poor AC Milan lost the game. Conte beat them actually, and Gray and Udogie are trash. He said,
and Inter won 3-0. So I'm happy.
Stupid comments. What's a stupid comments?
I never thought you'd react to that one. Well, this is what
That's the nonsense. What a
comment,
There we go.
Pep goes out. Hang on.
Blockbuster
Pep goes out. Wait a minute. Pep goes out and says,
I can't do another hour on Archie Gray. I'm Archie Gray.
No. I just want to say one thing. Pep's gone out. I mean, we're hearing Savo saying Pep's the greatest manager there's ever been. Fair enough. He's gone out. He values this. I know. All right. Whatever you said, he's a great manager.
He's the greatest manager right now.
Okay. So right now, or a few months ago, he's gone out and I think he spent 65 million on a Brazilian international. So the kid's not bad, is he? He's not bad. And they stick a central midfield player up marking him. And I thought first half he got beaten 2 or 3 times. But you know what? What did this brilliant 65 million Brazilian actually do? What did he contribute? Tell me.
He's Portuguese, no?
Tell me, what did he do? What was his end product? But he scored a goal because Johnson lost him. Romero got sucked in. Gray had to pick a great run from the midfield player, and Johnson didn't track back. And you can see Johnson was a couple of yards behind. Obviously, that's Gray's fault. The fact Udogie lost the ball, Romero gets sucked in, it's obviously Gray's fault. Everything is Gray's fault. Everything that goes wrong is Gray's fault.
Why is it never Gray's fault? Why is it never his fault?
You're never honest about Gray, ever.
Yeah, you know what? When you are playing
why did the pundits Ian say on the TV, the pundit said clear as day, I'll even get it for you up here and cut it if you want it, that Spurs need to sort out Archie Gray. He is the problem at the moment where they can get caught out. Because
they're targeting Archie Gray. He said they're targeting.
He was probably our second worst player in the first half. In the second half, I thought he was significantly better than what he was. But he's showing again, he needs backup when he's as a right back because he's not a natural right back.
Absolutely.
So that goal, he was just as much the fault for that goal as the others who let it over. Because when it came right over, the fella was behind him with about 10-foot breathing space. He could have sat there and sparked up a fag and put it in the back of the net while Archie Gray was running around like that, not knowing the man was behind him.
I've got to tell you,
by the way,
was he not?
Wait.
Listen, I'm fighting a tide of comments here, but does everybody expect Archie Gray to be prime Carl Walker in his pomp? Do me a favour, the kid's 18, he's just come in from the Championship, and people are knocking a kid that's learning his trade, Jesus Christ.
And you were just
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
that
the
to
only
a,
thing-
you were just doing that to a Brazilian boy.
I'm not using their
Never
brains
honest about him,
and
Ian.
thinking where he is as a player today.
You were just doing that to a Brazilian boy, though, or Portuguese.
He looked bloody good, didn't he? The left winger.
Yeah, I don't think what you're saying is wrong, but I do think that he shouldn't be learning his trade at Tottenham Hotspur in a position he's never played. I don't think he's good enough to be learning his trade there. But I don't think he was his fault at stake for the goal. And I thought he played really well second half, to be honest.
Where was
I
he
thought the
meant to
one
be for
time
the
he
goal,
did get
James?
skinned, he was mature enough to bring his man down, and I thought that was a good sign to say,
Why
you know
did
what,
they
he's
get a
skinned me,
clean
I'll
shot
bring
on
the
goal,
foul.
though? Why was the goal so open and clean from that angle?
Well, where was Johnson? He had to come in.
But that wasn't Johnson's place. That was where
Of
Gray
course
was meant to be.
No, but when there's a mistake, when Romero stepped forward, if he would have stood still, he's in a lose-lose situation because he would have stood there and let the guy get a tap in, or go towards him and the guys behind's got a tap in. So it's a
I'm just
lose-lose
saying,
situation for him.
he had a good
For
second
me,
half, but don't cover his
Johnson
arse for
should have
where he
dropped.
screwed up as well. Because
Can
he
I
was
go
just as
next?
much the fault for that
I
goal.
don't think he had a
But
good
his
second half.
He was better.
No,
He was
no.
better.
Dan, you're being nice. Archie Gray had a terrible game. I don't care what Ian says. He did not defend properly. What's his name? The guy from City. What's his name again? Fuck. I forgot his name. Yeah, him.
Fabio.
Can I ask
No.
one question?
No, the Portuguese. What's his name? From City.
Nunes. What
Nunes, thank you
Why
very
do you
much.
sound like
does Archie Gray do?
No,
This is what I
Jim.
know, Stel. What
I'm
does
working
Archie Gray
Still.
do? He
He
can't
started
tackle.
the move, Sav. He started the move that ended up in the first goal. So let's
No,
start
he
with that.
didn't.
Passed
Okay,
it 5
okay.
yards to
Okay.
Johnson.
No, he didn't.
So he passed the ball
Yes, he
5
did,
yards.
Dietrich. It was right in front of me. He played the ball
Okay,
down the
Ian.
line. Johnson
Ian, hang on.
flicked it on and Coonan swept it across.
Ian, all right, he passed the ball 5 yards and then 5 passes later, there's a goal. Right,
It wasn't 5 yards. He gave a 15-yard ball and two
okay,
passes
okay,
later.
professional.
the ball's in the net.
Okay, Ian, hang on.
But
Professional
nobody
football.
gives him any credit for anything he ever does. I think Dan's the only
Let me
person
finish.
and James that mentioned he had a decent second
You
half.
never
Let me finish.
criticised him.
Okay.
What do you expect? What
I'm
do
trying
you
to
guys
ask you a
expect?
question. I know you're his agent or his dad or something.
I'm not
but
his
let-
agent or his dad, but I've never heard so much hate towards a kid who's
There's no
coming
hate.
into our team. It
Ian,
is.
let-
Pure
Ian,
hate.
let me
It's
finish.
an
Let me
agenda.
finish.
It's an agenda against it.
Let me finish. Ian, you're a grown man. When you tell people they've got an agenda, you look like an idiot, right? Stop
Yeah,
it.
look, don't get
No.
personal. Don't
No.
get personal, Sam. Don't get personal.
Don't tell
Doesn't
people they have
suit
an
you.
agenda.
Doesn't suit you, mate.
Don't tell people they have an agenda just because you love a kid who's playing poorly,
Can
right?
we just talk about Archie Gray yet again? Because we've only done it
Right.
7,000
So I'm
times.
trying to ask a question still about Archie Gray. When people are
Go for
saying
it.
he had a decent second half, every time Nunes got that ball, Nunes either made the decision to take him on or lay it back to Ake. Every time he made the decision to take him on, he took him on like he wasn't there. Like his body shape is awful. He ran the ball out of play again. He keeps doing that every game. He keeps running the ball out of play like he's never dribbled a football before. He keeps passing it to their team. He was part of, not all at fault, but part of fault for the goal. I'm waiting for someone to tell me, what does Archie Gray do? Right? I haven't got an agenda against him. I just don't know what he does when people keep telling me he's young, he's generational, he's going to come good.
Who said he's generational? No one said he's generational.
You did. You did.
No,
I'm
I didn't.
asking. No, I said, don't, right? Why everyone is constantly this, right? What does he, I'm asking, what does he do that's making people go, he looks good? Because I think he looks so out of his depth, even controlling a football, passing a football. He looks slow. He looks weak. His man takes him on at every opportunity. So I'm asking, someone please tell me rationally, because otherwise we get silly comments like it's an agenda. I've just seen many kids come on before who look at Man City's kids. Look at Nico O'Reilly and James McAtee move the ball. You go, yeah, you can play. I'm watching Archie Gray. I don't see any of it. So what does he do? That's all I'm asking. What does he do?
Where he needs help defensively.
That's not what I asked.
No, where he needs help. Right, here's a midfield player. Stell will back me up because Stell's a coach. The body shape when you are playing. Listen, Sam, Sam, you're gonna listen.
I haven't said anything.
Right. The body shape we're tackling in midfield is completely different as a defender. Totally different. He is stood up. Yes, it is. Of course it is. Your front way's on. Whichever way you're going, your front way's on. If you're defending as a fullback, it's much closer. Midfield is much closer. It's much shorter bursts. You're out on the wing. You're one against one. You're jockeying. Whatever it is, it's a different style of defending. It's a different position completely. He is playing in a different position. It's not his best position.
By what does he do? What do you mean by that? Like, what attributes is he good at?
What's he good at? I've not seen anything where I go, yeah, you're good at that. I just don't see anything in him.
I think he's like reading the game. I think he's pretty good at reading the game. I think when he steps into midfield, he holds his own. I think the moment he's put into right back and he's asked to use any sort of pace or defensive ability, I think he gets skinned, personally. So I think, and he is only 18, so I think if he was to be played in midfield, I think we'd see a different player. I'm not saying we'd see a player ready for the Prem, because I don't think he's ready for the Prem, but I think we would see a lot better if he was played in midfield than he is as a right back.
Okay,
I agree
so
with
is
that.
it fair
If he
to
was
say then,
played in
James,
his actual
from what
position.
I'm seeing from him, I can only judge him
But at
by
the
what
moment-
Anne shows me. From what we're seeing from him, I have seen nothing that tells me that there's a player in there. There's not one thing done where I've gone, yeah, you look good.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think I've seen moments where I think, oh, good touch there, good turn there. But I mean, no, if you're saying, have you seen enough to see him go, right, yeah, he's going to be our new right back, he's going to be our new centre midfielder? Of course not. But that's where I'd say he's only 18. And if we was a proper club, one of the things I actually saw with City today, if he was at City, he would be out on loan until he was 20, 21. And then he would be brought in and it'd be like, this is how we play, blah, blah, blah. But we're so short. It's like, well, we've bought him, he has to play.
Guys,
So what
I
have
have a petition.
What I've been saying,
I have a petition.
we need to go out on loan, and I'm told, no, the boy is not ready for Tottenham Hotspur. Whatever anyone says, he's not.
I agree with you. He's not ready for Tottenham.
I don't think he's ready.
Sorry, he's not good. He's not a good footballer. From
what
what
I've
I've
seen.
seen.
That's different. Not ready for Tottenham and not a good footballer. I think that's two different.
Okay, not a good footballer at this level.
At the moment, yeah.
Let me bring in Michael. Go on, Michael. What is it you wanted to say?
Yeah, so I have a two-way petition, right? One, can we talk about something different than Archie Gray, please? and the second one, and the second one, can we hear from Dan? Because he's been sitting for a long time without talking. And
yes,
yeah.
Dan.
But see, you sometimes have to raise your hand, and they will respond.
Evening all. I've got a question for you. I had it loaded up, right? But we got derailed. So, he made one of his recovery runs stretched, looked like he pulled a hamstring. We didn't know if he was going to come off or not, but then he went off in the 13th minute. And the worrying thing was, as he went off, he started crying. Normally, that's a sign that he knows he's going to be out, and he's just gutted that he's just not going to play football. Let's assume that he is out now for the next, let's say, 6 weeks, hamstring, 2 months maybe. How big of a problem is this going to be? We do have Dragusin. We do have Ben Davies. We could potentially. I know. I'm clutching. But given the way we play and the importance of having one defender that can make those sprints back, not having him now, what's your thinking on this, Dan? Because he's one of our best players. He's probably one of our top 3 best players who's now potentially out until what, mid-December?
All right. And guys, evening all. I haven't said hello. Hope everyone's all right. Happy days, right, guys? Happy days. We're through. We're through to the next round. I'm happy. Van der Ven, look, still, I don't think it really makes much difference if he's fit or not, because we're just, if we've got to look at ourselves, we're not, even when he's been playing, we haven't been great, have we, to be honest? Look, you're going to miss a player like Van der Ven, of course, but we've got bigger problems than that.
But specifically about Van de Ven, though, because a lot of people say he's our best defender, and a lot of people say the way we do push up at times without him, teams now look, a smart manager that sees Spurs without Van de Ven is going to target that. You will target that if you're smart. If you see Spurs push up, you say just send it long every time because they've got no one that can recover now.
Yeah, look, it is a loss. And when I was on the show last night, Nige and Ash, they warned me about this because I wanted to go full strength against City. And they said, oh, what about Van de Ven? What if he pulls his hamstring? And I said, no, we just got to play him. And they were right, man. They were spot on because that's what happened. It was
he might have pulled his hamstring against Villa. He could have done it at any point.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. But then he only played the other day, didn't he? So it's like the games one after the other. And I think this was the sort of time when he pulled it last year, right? Wasn't it? Against the Chelsea. Wasn't it about 10 games?
Yeah, 10 games. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it's a problem, isn't it? It's a problem. And we haven't got cover. We didn't sign anybody else to cover that left side of the centre-back. We didn't get another pacey centre-back. So, look, man, it's not good. It's not good. I mean...
Could it have been cramped, though? Could it have been cramped? Because straight away they come in, started stretching him out. And then at the end, he was walking around the pitch at the end. If you pulled your hammy, mate, you're down the tunnel and you ain't coming back out.
Why was he in tears?
Yeah, why is he crying for?
He was proper balling.
He's just seen Ben Davies walk onto the pitch.
But James, seriously, when he came off, mate, he was crying his eyes out.
Yeah, he was
and that usually shows that a player knows something has happened to himself. Obviously, we don't know, but the way he was crying.
But surely they wouldn't have let him walking around afterwards. Like, yeah, go on, mate, off you go, get out there.
No, like if you've seen players with ice packs or injuries come out the dressing room and just sit on the bench with their team many times.
I think what you're missing there's the difference between there's from what I know with a hamstring, there's basically three things you do on it. You either pull it, tear it, or rip it. You rip it like he pretty much did. You're out for 3 months plus. Tear it, depending how big the tear is on the hamstring, you can be out for a few weeks. You can be out for a couple of months, and if you pull it, a couple of weeks sort of thing. I think he's had a bit of an in-betweener there because he definitely didn't tear it, rip it, because otherwise he wouldn't have been walking off that pitch. But he definitely knew it was a bit more than a pull, basically, because of the way he was crying his eyes out, or unless he's got a bit of panic overload.
Ange confirmed hamstring injury after the game and also said he hopes Romero is just fatigue. So, what's everyone else's? Listen, this is what I was saying. As soon as he cried, I was like, "Oh no, this is bad." Right. If he's out now, let's say worst case. Let's say best case 4 weeks. Let's say it's 4 to 2 months. That's 4 weeks to 8 weeks out. What's everyone's thinking? Because last year when Van de Ven went out, we went on that bad run. Are you guys worried that without Van de Ven,
I'd say this gives Dragusin an opportunity. And I thought he was terrific tonight. For me, he was our best player. I know Kulu got 2 assists.
He had a good night.
I thought Dragusin had a really good game, and you saw him win some important headers. Udogie needs a rest, by the way. The guy is just being played and hammered into the ground. It's a shame Spence was injured. Otherwise, I'm sure Spence would have had a chance today. But Dragusin will come in for Mickey. By the way, I thought Ben Davies had a decent game as well tonight. I know he's not the answer, but the defence dug in. You looked at that defence and you thought to yourself, second half, we're going to get blown away here. We could end up losing this 4-2. But Vicario didn't have a shot to save the whole game. Not one shot. You say they had 3 shots. I think they were all blocked, weren't they? And Dragusin will come in and just got to drop that line back without Mickey's pace. Just got to, otherwise we'll get killed. And if he does that, then we may get through it.
But Radu, we didn't play the high line today, did we? Man City didn't let us. So that's why Radu looked okay, didn't he? Yeah. The test is going to be when we play that high line with Radu and Ben Davies. That's when it's going to be a problem, isn't it?
I think the issue we've got at the moment, guys, is we've got Spence out of an injury. We've got Romero potentially now. Maybe something's there. Van de Ven's going to be out for a period of time. Odebert, serious injury, he's out. So now we're forcing to play these fringe players. So now suddenly The Dragusins come in who haven't got the pace of Van der Ven. And we saw what happened against Newcastle when Dragusin was in the back line. You've got Werner now having to start every game. Yes, he scored today, but fuck me, how many did he miss, man? Like,
Son is back for Villa though, right?
Yeah, but Michael,
that's
how fit is he? How fit is he?
I don't think he will play.
Bentancur's getting a suspension at any day now. He's got a massive suspension coming in.
I thought he played well today.
Yeah.
Bentancur.
Yeah.
And how good was Bissouma's second half? Thought he had a really good 45. I mean, he was crazy with some of his tackles.
Especially considering he was on a yellow from like minute 6 of his game time, right? But one thing I have to or not have to, but one thing I want to add with Van der Ven is last year when he got that injury, they had to take him like off the pitch, right? They had to drag him off the pitch basically. You know, the physios had him, like holding him by the hands, right? Whereas this time he walked off, so maybe that's a bit of a copium in me, but I think he will be out for a couple of weeks. I just don't think it's the worst thing that could happen to a hamstring, right? I think if he ripped it or even teared it, then I don't think he would have been able to walk off like he did. By the way, Alex, you are muted. I don't know if you...
Can I just say about Romero? Argentina left him out because of fatigue in their second game. He was suspended for the first game, and they left him out because of fatigue for the second. And he comes back to Spurs, and they throw him in straight away, which was crazy.
I'm more. Don't get me wrong. Van der Ven is a huge miss, but I'm still more worried about our front line, to be honest.
Yeah,
because even with those guys, we're conceding goals. We're just not scoring goals, or even if we are, I don't know, man. I'm more worried if Timo's got to start.
Right? Is this now, guys? Is this not now a time where Ange must adapt? Like when Sava came on the show, the first thing he said was, I think we're better not playing this possession tiki-taka stuff. Let's play on the transition counter-attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Must Ange now adapt?
We won't do it, though. We won't do it.
The main event needs to say something, Bob. The main event needs to say something, Bob. I'm sorry. I have to say something. I'm just hearing the same thing that I heard before when we won against last other teams. Michael just mentioned it. Had the guy at Stava. Yeah, when Stava's just talking truth again, like he always does every single time. Yeah, we done well in the first half, yes. We done well in the first half, yes. A bit of the first half, yes. But most of the time, they say they had most of the game with their second team. Let's get it right. You know what I mean? And people saying, "Oh, why are you having a go at the team? Why are you not giving them credit again?" Well, where's the trophy, bruv? Where's the trophy, bruv?
Come on.
Where's the trophy, bruv? You know what I mean? No, James. No, because you're another one as well. I'm sorry, I'm done with this. Because we're doing it again. We're doing it again. You haven't got people that are just talking honestly about the win. Yeah? Sabbath said it all perfectly there. No. Michael's... Yes, because like I said before, no, I'm not waffling, bruv. It's truth. It's truth. And the main event's still speaking, bruv, and you're just getting rattled. That's all I'm saying, and that's it. The point I'm making is...
Alex, what do you think about
the point I'm making is, right? No, I'm still speaking because I've got a loud voice. Don't disrespect that. That's the point. Yeah. Yes, we won the game against Man City, but the fact is they didn't put Haaland on because they weren't that bothered about it. Yeah, I'm sorry Michael's got rattled because he had to leave his chair because he got so rattled. Sorry about that. But that's how it is. The truth hurts on loads of time. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's it. No, James, it's just the truth and that's it. Try it sometime. The point is, we won the game. That's cool, but Man City weren't that bothered, yeah? We'll see against Manchester United what we do against Manchester United, and that's it. And that's all I need to say, and that's it.
By the way, I still want
Werner at this club because he's still shown he's still a below average Shane Long, German Shane Long, that I would never want in my club again. If you still want to defend this guy, I will have Bergwijn back in my team as well, because the amount of chances Werner's had in this team,
Who is
Bergwijn should have had
defending
his
him?
chance as well.
Are you
defended Werner?
Bergwijn should have had his chance as well.
Werner, Alex.
Bergwijn should have had his
Werner.
chance as well, and I would get rid of a Charlison as well, and that's it. And that's all I need to say. And that's
Mate,
it. Back
mate,
to
mate,
Alex.
no, Alex.
I'm
Alex, I
done.
don't know what the fuck you've been watching, mate, but no one's said anything positive about Timo Werner. Do you know what I mean? Making up bullshit in your head.
No, seriously,
No,
mate.
I'm back
No
to
one
you
has said
still.
anything about Werner or Richarlison or whatever.
No, but I've
Fine.
heard credit. I've
What are you
heard
even on
credit.
about?
I've heard credit in the bank. I've heard credit in the bank from people, and I'm fed up with people telling about
Not for
credit.
Timo Werner, you didn't,
I'm
mate.
fed up
That's for
of it.
sure.
Yeah, I've heard enough of it. I'm sorry.
Can I slightly change subject? Can I slightly?
How do we get 600 people watching? How? Why do they?
Still, can I go back to the defence thing we were talking about? Everyone was talking about Mickey van der Ven. I'm going to put
By
out
the way,
an unpopular
nice stream,
opinion.
Alex. Nice stream.
I actually thought we were better when Romero went off and Davis came on. And people can take that as they want. I'm not sitting here saying I rate Ben Davis, but what Ben Davis does do is just gets on with his job. He doesn't try and do anything that's beyond his remit. Romero again tonight started doing some of those really clumsy coming out into midfield, crashing into people.
Yeah.
And I thought when he went off, I thought we actually looked quite composed at the back. I thought Dragoshin, I think Ian was right. Dragoshin, I thought that played well today. Couple of iffy moments in the first half, but the guy's not playing football. He's not getting regular games. It's going to happen. But I thought when we dropped to him and Davis at centre half for the last 20 or whatever it was, I actually thought we just defended without any high line nonsense, any trying to bring the ball out. Because Romero's a decent defender, right? But for me, too rash, always been too rash. And I just feel like he wants a little bit too much time when he's bringing the ball out. I feel like he slows everything down to the point where it's like, come on, dude, like speed up. So I'm worried that Van der Ven's going to be missing. And the reason being is I don't think Romero's good on the pitch when Van der Ven's not on the pitch. Mm-hmm. I think Van der Ven makes Romero look a lot better than he is. That's my worry with Van der Ven not being on the pitch. But you're all right. You guys got it right.
We miss Van der Ven more. I think we're missing more for the sheer. If Ange doesn't pull it back 10 yards, we miss Van der Ven more than Romero all day long, every day of the week.
I completely agree.
Because we need a player with that sort of pace to play the way that Ange plays, basically, if he sticks to staying that way. And you are not going to, you'll be lucky if you find another player out there with that pace, let alone a defender. And so he's definitely going to have to drop it. And Romero is a better defender overall than Van der Ven. But Van der Ven, for the way we play, is more needed than Romero.
That's
how I
agree.
look on it.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. I've got to be honest again. Sorry, I'm going to do it tonight. I'm on the one tonight. I'm being honest with you. That pace of his, he needs to learn how to stop using his pace a lot of the time, because that's why his hamstring keeps on doing this. He needs to learn how to be in the right position.
That's why any player does it.
That's the problem, bro. He's going to have the same problem when he comes back. He's going to have the same problem when he comes back. Is when I could see it happening. We all were saying it. I was telling
Alex, you're right, but I think you've totally missed it on that one, mate. No one was saying nothing about that. What I was saying was, for the way we play,
but
Van der Ven is more important than Romero.
That's the problem, though.
That we played that way, right?
Yeah, but that's the problem. That's the problem, though. If it's going to be the same, because the thing is, though, I knew he was worried about it, because Manchester United, when we're 3-0 up, he's taking him off, because he knew straight away. He's like, I can't risk him. I can't risk him, because he's going to do. He's going to go back. He's going to come back again, try to save us again, and that hamstring's going to tick again. So I'm sorry.
So
he's going to have to learn. He's going to have to learn to do it. Well, but bro, I'm not. I know he's important, but the problem is, Dan. Right, you can say whatever you want about the important, but if the thing is, though, if you're going to keep on doing it, if he's going to keep on trying to save our asses every single week because he's using his pace when he's going back on every single time, that hamstring is always going to click.
Of course it is, but that's not
so
what I'm
we're going to have the same.
Who's the more important defender?
Yeah,
Spurs,
I've answered the question.
I've
answered your question. I've answered your question. Van der Ven. But the point I'm making is, right? is that the point I'm making is that if you're going to have the same problem with this guy every single time, he does this every single time. You see it. I sit in the stadium with people and they're sitting there saying, "Oh, his hamstring's going to tick. His hamstring's going to tick." It happened tonight, right? It's going to happen the same thing.
What's your
Because the thing is,
solution
though,
then?
who was the same
What's your
player?
solution to this?
So, but bro, don't talk to me about solutions. I'm not a football. I'm not a physio. Like, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing at the moment. Yeah. My point is, he needs to sort out his way. Right, James. Sorry, the truth hurts you so much.
It's not true. It's just fucking
The
thick,
point
mate,
is,
to
mate.
be
The
honest.
point I made it, and I actually gave
Fucking
you a
nuts.
solution. I've only gave you a solution just before. I've just
You haven't given me no
given you a
solution.
before. Yes, I just give you a solution before. I said he needs to learn not to use his pace and be in the right position.
So what you're saying
right,
is you're the
to do
best
that.
player,
But
your
the
best
best
attribute. Take it
defenders-
away. Just
the
take
best
that away.
The best defenders, well, his pace is going to be gone anyway most of the time if he keeps on doing his
Oh
hamstring
man,
stuff.
no one can win with you, man. Just crack on.
Okay, so truth hurts you, like I said
You're
again,
not-
James.
it's not
Sorry about
truth
you getting
hurts.
rattled again. But point is, right, if you actually listen to me, James, rather than actually getting rattled, my point is,
Rattled?
right, is that no, my point is, right, is that if he doesn't sort out his pace, doesn't learn how to be in the right position, right, like some of the best defenders are, like your best defenders back in the day, like your Van der Vens, the best
Van der
defenders,
Ven,
like
he's
even
still
Luke
playing,
Shaw,
mate.
Van Dijks and everything else, even like
He's still playing.
Luke Shaw, he used to do that when he didn't have pace. If he's able to use without using his pace, he won't have those problems of having hamstring injuries all the time, and that's it. Because, like I said, if he keeps
He
on
wouldn't be a
doing
professional footballer if he had no pace. So let's take that away from him.
Sorry, that's rubbish. The best defenders don't have to have pace.
Alex, let me
That's
interject a
rubbish.
second. Hold on 1 second. I want to bring in Matt because Matt's been sitting there for ages. He hasn't spoken in a while. Matt, this Van der Ven situation, what's your take on it? Do you think we'll adapt? Are you worried? What's your? I want to know your thinking on it because you're always a very calm head.
Yeah, look, I think I was on holiday for 2 weeks in the international break, and I watched the Holland game, and he played with Van Dijk, and then Van Dijk got sent off, and he played both games in the international break, and he was a bit shaky, and a lot of the ex-Dutch players, Van der Vaart, and he got a lot of stick in the press, and he looked leggy. And I think it's the first time that he's played back-to-back international matches in the international break, and then going straight back and played for Spurs. So he looked shaky for me, pretty much from that international break onwards. So is it a concern? Of course, because he's an important player for how we play. But I think most of the people here on the panel say that he has looked a little bit suspect in the games since the international break. So I'm hoping Romero's fit and you go with Romero and Dragerson. Do we change our defensive line? I'm not sure. The concern with Villa is I went to the Villa game. They played Bournemouth the weekend, and even when they're at home, they seem to play this counter-attacking team. So they almost let the opposition have the ball and work with Watkins and Rodgers on the break. So that's the only concern I've got. We'll be at home. We'll probably have more of the ball. Will we be a little bit susceptible for the ball over the top? So I think we've got what's the fixtures before the international break? We've got Villa, Galatasaray,
Ipswich.
Okay, so technically 3 games before the international break. So the fact that he didn't have an ice pack, the fact that he came out and watched the second half, he didn't look like in too much discomfort. Maybe it might be 2 or 3 games. So I'm hopeful that we can get by with Dragerson, Romero, and Ben Davies. But it's certainly a concern. I think that's my only question mark about Ange, is that everything's done at breakneck speed. You know, when we make a tackle, the players are stretched. They don't ever seem to be in full control when we're defending, and that's my worry. That not just Van der Ven, the other players, Adoji, he must be in the red zone. He must be pretty close to the red zone with the amount of football that he's played. So it just compounds the problem of not having Spence in the Europa League, because he would have been invaluable to play, to just rotate Porro and Adoji. So I'm just really confused. And I like Ange. I'm just really confused with allowing Phillips to go out alone, and knowing Van der Ven's, being so susceptible to hamstring injuries. He's really put a lot of trust in a kind of a skinny defence. So I think we'll be okay, but we'll just play a little bit different without Van der Ven.
Yeah. If I can, my biggest issue with the window that we had, or one of the bigger issues, was the fact that we didn't bring in a left-footed defender. I don't even care if it was a left back or a left centre back, right? The only cover that we have is a left-footed Ben Davies and a right-footed Spence, that for some bloody reason we didn't register for Europa League, right? So this was one of my biggest issues, and right now it will show, because as you said, Van der Ven already injured, and I think at least a month, even if we cope hard, it's at least a month, right? And Udoji, he's been playing 80 to 90 minutes every single week, even every single 3 days, right? So I think he's bound to get a knock and miss 1 or 2 games. And what will happen then, right? Because our defense really looks thin. And as you said, it's not even as if we can bring youngsters in, right? Phillips is out on loan. Vuskovic cannot join us for a year. The only one that I remember is Dorrington as a centre back, right? I think he plays left side. I'm not sure about that. And I don't know who else plays in the other 21s, right? But we'll have to resort to that if Udoji gets an injury, right? Which it looks likely because of how much time he spends on the pitch.
Well, won't he play Gray? Won't he play Gray as a wing back?
Yeah, possibly he will play him left side, right? But it's yet another position where we just plug holes with Archie Gray, and he will probably get cooked, right? And I'm not saying, again, please let's not start Archie Gray chat again, right? But
you're right.
But right side seems more natural to him, right? So if we put him on the left side, then I think he might struggle, not because he's a bad player or anything. It's just the way the position
What about
works.
Reguilon? Isn't he still at the club, or is he injured?
Yeah, technically he is, right?
Why do you want to play for Tottenham?
It's not him and Ange had a massive argument.
Why would he want to play for Tottenham, Stelios, when he's been outcast already?
Well, we might have the point is we might have a choice if we've got injuries. That's the whole point.
That's silly now, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I don't care if he wants to play in that aspect, Alex. I couldn't give a fuck whether he wants to play. I don't give a fuck whether he wants to play or not.
We're paying his wages.
Get your job. You're getting paid 60
grand
a week.
I get what you're saying, but I'm just giving an argument here. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I can understand why you wouldn't.
I'm being devil's advocate because it's a popular road right now, just to get people going. The juice is flowing a little bit here. The point I'm making is that why do you want to play? And like I said before, I'm really on one tonight. I've got to be honest. Right, maybe I haven't my chicken yet. You know what I mean? But the point is, right, is that the point is, is that we said at the beginning of the season, right, and you all saw it because you saw it on Mr. Box Office TV because I did a video on it, right, when I said it was a big mistake, what they said before, that Archie Gray and Bergvall are ready, right? They said they didn't need Doran, they didn't need Phillips, they didn't need any defender, right? Even though they were so twerking for Tadibo, that's went to West Ham. So, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, they've got to deal with it. They've got to deal with it. I'm sorry. I've got no sympathy whatsoever for this club right now, Ange. I'm sorry, because they said at the beginning of the season they were okay when we could clearly see you. And I'm not going to have a go at you, Dan, because you said it. I've been on streams that you said it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm definitely not having a go at Sava because I know you said it, and I know Stelios has said it. Don't get used to it though. Getting the credit though. Niceties though. The point is, right, is that we all said it, and now we're seeing what's happening right now. Like I said, so. Really, you believe in the youngsters? Well, here's your moment.
Talking about youngsters, I've got a question. Another guy that I was really not impressed with again is Mikey Moore. I don't know what he did in that game to say he had a good game or anything. He
didn't have a good
did
game,
nothing.
Yeah. But he's because he's 17. He's one of those.
I get that, but we can't say that for him when we're slating Gray at 18. There's only a year difference. And for me, Timo Werner was miles better than Mikey Moore. For me, I don't know.
James, what is it? Is it the difference though? The fact that Mikey Moore's a player we've developed through the academy, who we're trying to now bring into the first team, whereas Archie Gray, we've gone out of our way to spend £40 million to bring him in.
But that's not Gray's fault, though, is it? That's where I'm.
A lot more experience than Mikey Moore as well.
I'm speaking on behalf of players. Like if we're all big enough to slay Gray, we all need to have a look at the likes of Mikey Moore and stuff as well.
Yeah, but that's my argument. My argument is if the club have gone out of their way to bring him in and spend that kind of money instead of buying an established, proven player. Yes, there's an argument to say we should have done both, but the club chose not to. Then he's under more criticism. There is more pressure on there.
It depends on how you look at it. Not from me. No, not from me. Because I don't blame him or judge him on what the club done. I don't think that's fair. I'll judge him on what I see and take into terms of considerations for like Mikey Moore and things like that. So for me, he's still a young kid.
Can I tell you what it is? I don't know if anyone on the chat agrees with me. I know Ian's going to absolutely hate what I'm about to say, but let's see if anyone else agrees. The difference is I think we've all seen cameos of Mikey Moore where you go, wow, look at that talent. I've watched cameos of Archie Gray every week where I go, wow, why did we sign him? And that's the difference for me. Mikey Moore has got so much ability. You can see it. He didn't play well today, but Stell's right. We paid 40 million for Archie Gray. So if we're going to spend 40 million of our summer transfer budget on a player, I think fans have a right to look and say, 18 or not, why did the 40 million go here and not on what we need?
Yeah, so this is where I agree with Dan, because
James, can I
you can 1 second. You can 1 second, but this is where I agree with Dan, because me and Dan have said the whole time. Do I think bringing Archie Gray was the correct decision? No, not for 40 million. I don't believe that was the correct decision. I think we should have gone and got proven talent. But I can't judge Archie Gray on what the club did. I don't think that's fair.
No, I get it. But I think, don't you think that the differences as well is with someone like Moore coming through the youth team, for me, and this is where I agree with, this is going to start World War III. This is why I agree with what Box Office says. At any top football club, Mikey Moore's not getting a sniff, right? Mikey Moore at 17 isn't getting a sniff at Liverpool or Arsenal because they've got loads of really good players in front. Problem is, Tottenham haven't. We've got people like Timo Werner and Richarlison and Johnson. So we go, oh my God, we've got to get Mikey Moore in because he's great. And we've already branded him the next Chris Waddle or the next Gareth Bale. So he's 17, literally just 17 years of age. It's going to take time. But you can see he's got something. But I think as fans, we're trying to fast track some of these youngsters. We're doing it with Gray. We did it with Bergvall. Do you remember at the beginning of the season, James? Bergvall would come on a couple of nice passes and people would go, he's definitely got to start in front of James Maddison. You're like, whoa, really? Like that's what we do. We elevate these kids. Even last week, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to get pelters for this. Mikey Moore against AZ Alkmaar. Don't get me wrong. What a really good 15 minutes Mikey Moore had. He had a really good 15 minutes where he looked like he was going to take them on for fun. But in the grand scheme of the games, of the game, it was a 15-minute cameo, right? But what we do, instead of going, that's really promising, what we did after that, our fan base are making videos about this guy's like Lamine Yamal. This guy is generational. We're doing it again. We do it with every young player. I think we want them to be better than they are too soon. But Mikey Moore, my answer overall is Mikey Moore, I can see just an abundance of talent. You can see it. It's not always going to come off. To answer your question, Gray and Bergvall for me, I've not seen it. That's how I would put it.
Do you not think, Sav? Do you think that we should be judging players on where they are in their career?
No.
How many games they play, what they've done in their history,
No.
and how they're playing for the club. Now,
No.
me and you might disagree on what we see on Gray, but the fact is that whether he costs 40 million or 5 million, to me, is irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant because the club make that decision, and the club paid. I mean, Leeds, I was told, wanted 50 million in January when we spoke to them.
I don't agree.
I agree. I think the difference.
So is it not down to? Is it not down? If you get someone like Delhi at 5 million that comes in, you say, Jesus, what a fantastic deal! That is unbelievable because this kid, you know, we could have been charged more money for him, and it would have been. It still would have been value for money.
But sure, but even if he was 5 million for me, even if I was watching Archie Gray right now and going, we spent 5 million, I'm still looking at it and saying 5 or 40. We've brought this player in. We've determined that there's not better players out there to bring in to help our football club. And that's what I'm judging him on. Well, listen, I don't expect to watch a player like Gray or Bergvall, if we're going to do that, or Odegaard or Yang when he comes in. I don't expect these players to come in and I go, wow, every game, wow. I don't expect that. These kids are not Lamine Yamal, who has got to be the benchmark.
No, of course,
right?
Of course.
He's got to be the benchmark of the best teenager in the world, right? These players are not that. What I do want to see, though, is these solid cameos from them where you go, yeah. And it doesn't have to be every game. And as we said, Mikey Moore, superb against Alkmaar for that cameo, did nothing against Palace, wasn't that great tonight. That's going to happen. But for me, the club went and bought this guy. The club decided, and Ange reiterated it this morning, he don't want to go and buy ready-made players with personality and leadership. We want to breed these youngsters to have it. So Ange, Lang, and Levy are telling me these are the players we're going with. I'll judge them on that. It can't always be that they're 18. That's who we brought them in as first-team players. So I'm judging them on that.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I think Savin's saying. Because I add to what he's saying, the club have put them in that position.
Right.
That's the problem. That's the problem. It's not. Unfortunately, the young players are now down to what the club have done to them, and that's it. It's the same with Mikey Moore, right? That's why we got Timo Werner in. They brought in Timo Werner because they didn't want to block the pathway to Mikey Moore. So now the pathway's available for Mikey Moore. Now you got to play him because he's in the squad. Like I said, you know, if you're going to have a squad, they've got to be ready. That's what top clubs do. You see what I'm saying? But unfortunately for Tottenham, we think Timo Werner keep on playing and keep on playing and keep on playing and keep on playing. Sorry, that's not good enough because if we're going to do that with Timo Werner, we should have done that with Bergwijn back in the day then. Should have done that with Lamela. Should have done that with so many other players that couldn't struggle to get in the squad. But it's sending out the wrong message in the squad that it's all right to not play well. And you can't get away with that in a top 6 club.
The thing is, Alex,
I'm on one tonight.
Can I just say as well, Stel will know about this. Stel, I always use me and you as the benchmark because I've never known two people get as much shit as we get. But all summer, we were told, Stel, right? Yeah, wear it with a badge of honor. All summer, we were told that this squad is stronger. Fans were telling us, this squad is stronger now. And when I was saying to them how, because Bergvall and Gray are better than Lo Celso, Ndombele, Skip, and Højbjerg. Okay, cool. So then now when they start playing and it's clear that they're not stronger and they're not better than those players yet, everyone goes, oh, but they're kids. We can't have it both ways. They're either young kids that need time to develop or they're team players in the Tottenham Hotspur squad playing in European and cup games against Man City. Which one is it?
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? When you say everybody, you know, fans were saying, what are we talking about? People that have got their level 1 or their level 2 on coaching.
Last word on Spurs, Chris Cowlin, We Are Tottenham TV, The Fighting Cock, Ben Bowman, 90% of YouTube channels said it. They said, we are better this season. Look at the signings we've made. these kids are generational.
You see,
Solanke's the perfect fit.
You see, to me, still, we had a
We didn't make one bad signing this summer.
You know, to me, if you're looking at
Odebert's got the best dribbling stats in
if you're looking at the three, if you're looking at the first 11, the first team, or you're looking at the majority of players who are, you know, the players that, should I say, that are going to play the majority of games, the first team's hardly changed from last season. Solanke's come in, you know, and if Richie came in instead of Solanke, and there isn't too much difference between the two of them, to be honest, you got the same team as last year, same set of players. Nothing's changed. The fringe players who were internationals like Skip, Hoybier, Emerson, and Lo Celso weren't first 11 players. You know, they were squad players. So nothing's changed from last season. So why are we surprised we're 8th? Look at we were 12th from Chelsea onwards. We were 12th.
Saba's been saying it on this channel so many times. Saba's been saying it on this channel.
But we're not top 6, Alex. We're not top 6.
Ian,
I'm not being funny.
Ian, well, hold on one second. Ian, all those channels I mentioned combined have probably got about maybe 300,000 subscribers. That's a lot of Spurs fans watching. And when they did their pre-season predictions, we're going to finish above Arsenal. Top 4. I think we can get top 3. This is what they said. Go on their pre-season prediction shows and look at the comments, the support that they got for their predictions. Go look at it. They're the ones. Thousands of them. They said that. And then there was a few shows. This one, Sava's, I know Dan's, Alex's. There might be a few more. Sorry if I missed anyone. But a few shows said, listen, if we fucking get top 6 again, well done.
No, absolutely. I've said all along that I thought we're 5th to 8th. I'm actually revising it now, and I think we're probably 6th to 10th.
No, you did say that before the season. I back you up on that. I remember you saying that. You did. But Sav was saying, we got a lot of pelters for saying, we're not getting top 4. What have we done to get top 4? Where's the changes to the first? In fact, I remember the conversation that we said, we must strengthen the first team because this year we've got Europe and we're in the Cups and we're playing more than one game a week. We must strengthen the first team just to maintain where we are this season, which last season when we finished 5th. That was the conversation we had. But just by adding Solanke, we went from 5th to Champions League and winning trophies.
Crazy.
That's what was going on everywhere.
I don't think we should blame the youngsters. I don't think we should blame them.
I don't blame the youngsters.
No, blame them. We're not saying that, Dan. We're not saying that, Dan. We're saying this is where people are getting confused, right? Is that based on what the club have said, we're basing it on what the club have said. Because they've made lots of statements at the beginning of the season. This squad is better than what it is now.
Yeah,
Alice, last season.
Alice, a Man United fan, did so many shows saying our players, our young kids are frightening. They're generational. Tottenham are building a machine. And they were all doing all this. Henry Wright, I think, did 1 or 2. And listen, everyone jumped on the bandwagon because that's where the positive train was. I get why they did it. But the reality is, it was nuts. We all got carried away. Well, not we, but our fan base got carried away again. And now if you listen to the conversation on those same channels, it's Ange. What do you think of Ange? You know? it's funny.
I said at the beginning of the season when people were saying we need a backup left-sided centre back, we need a backup left back. I said to people, I'm sorry, you're fucking clueless. You're trying to sign backups when we need problems with our first team. But they're like, no, but we need some. What if he gets injured? Well, why don't we buy players that are good enough to go into the first team and make our first team backups? But he's the best left back in the league. Mate, you're clueless. I'm sorry, it's mental because even things like buying Odegaard or signing Timo Werner, when they said, but they're good backups. I'm like, no. Well, I actually wanted Minamito. Is it Minamito? Who's Matoma? I said, well, I want Matoma. I want Son on the bench. Oh, you're stupid. You know what you're talking about. You don't know what. I'm like, mate, he's a footballer. That's where we should be going down that route. And then, or then you get the.
You've got ambition, James. You've got our club. If you remember under Pochettino, I mean, who remembers this at the time? We had a really good 11, right? And I remember any player that
No, you're
went,
going to say
that would be a good signing. Oh, but he won't come and sit on a bench. No, stop thinking like that. Stop thinking about this player. Like, oh my God, did you see Bentancur's been dropped? Maybe Bentancur is being rotated with Basuma. Like, our thinking is, here's an 11. This is a great 11. No one else can get in it. They have to sit on a bench. And the bigger clubs, look at Liverpool. Look at their squad. Look at Man City's squad. Arsenal are building that squad now. Our fan base is one of those fan bases where we're trying to convince ourselves that we want to be a big club. But when you talk about upgrading, James, if you said to me right now, right, do you want Matoma on your left wing or Son? I want Matoma. I want the future. I want younger version that comes in. I'm not knocking Son.
No.
Go and get that. But instead, what did we do? We went and bought Odegaard because you know what? He's not going to take Son's place at any time soon. He's not really a challenger to the throne, is he? That's what we do. We buy mediocre young players and then pretend that they're all going to be brilliant because we saw a few games of them last year. And until we start going, boom, instead of Solanke, Gyökeres, that's a statement.
Yeah.
You know what we could have done? We could have.
James, don't remember the conversation? We were saying, get Gyökeres. Everyone's coming on, get Gyökeres. And we watched videos. And then when we knew we weren't going to bid for him, we then switched the whole conversation because the journalist took us there to Spurs in talks of Ivan Toney. And then we said, you know what? He's not Gyökeres, but he's better than what we got. He's powerful.
He's got arrogance. He's got swag.
Yeah,
he's got everything everything that we ever got in our strike force, and that's it. You know what I mean? By the way, James. Before then, I agree with you. By the way,
right? We said, fine, we're on board with Toney. Good, it's better than what we got for the reasons Alex just said. Then when we signed Solanke, the fan base just went to this. He fits Ange Ball's system perfectly.
Yeah.
Right now, he's not scoring any goals. But he holds up the ball. We are mental. We are just nuts as a fan base when it comes to players. And then when we're 8th, 9th, or win one game, lose one game, win one game, you sit there watching these debates, and it's painful. These shows that talk about balanced debates, and all they go is, I don't get why this keeps happening to us. I just can't put my finger on why we lost today.
Snell,
go listen to what you said in the transfer window. Listen to what you accepted, and there's your answer.
Snell, I'll sum it up. Someone said to me on a space in May or June, who are the players you want for next season? So I said, if Tottenham are going to make a statement, you go and get a Polinia, or if you can't get Polinia because he's going to Bayern Munich, you get someone of that level.
We also Polinia, actually, yeah.
Polinia, Isak, and the third one was Eze. And we all saw what Eze did to us on Sunday. I said, you bring those three players into the first team, changes the whole dynamic. And it may cost you the best part of 200 million. But this is Tottenham Hotspur, and they're never going to spend 200 million because the owners are not serious. The other,
I said I wanted.
For this football club, football success, they are not serious.
Before Solanke, I said I wanted the one person I wanted all pre-season was Openda. He's the one player I was like, please buy Openda. He's kind of under the radar. He's not going to be as expensive as everybody else. They didn't. And then when they bought Solanke, those last few days when Osterman went to Galatasaray, Levy should have been hung for that because he's gone there for a loan. If you're a big club, even if you have signed Solanke, you go and get him on loan.
Yeah. By the way, because I wanted to give my opinion on Solanke, right? Because I was actually, well, maybe not to the extent that Stel described it, but I was kind of defending Solanke signing, right? But in my mind, I had him playing a much different role that he is playing for us right now, right? And what I'm seeing now from Solanke is, first of all, not what I expected. And second of all, guys, he's our number 9, and for the past 4 matches he had no shots on target. He's not taking shots. Right?
Michael, how many times have I told everyone about this guy, Solanke?
And I agree with you, by the way, right? I agree with you. I defended him at the beginning of the season because, like, when I saw the Leicester game where he had like 7 shots and he missed some, whatever, right? But at least what I wanted us to buy was a guy that will be in the end of the chances and try to finish them, right? So even though he didn't score, I was like, okay, you are taking your opportunities. You just didn't score, right? But against Palace, West Ham, and I think there was one more match in Europe where he literally had no shots on target, or he had 1 shot that was missed, right? And this is not what we brought you in for, right? And I think he himself, like, he's not. He was clearly the worst player on the pitch, in my opinion, today. I don't know if you agree. But for me, for the role that he's supposed to play, to be the finisher, to be the number 9, I just didn't see that today. I saw him trying to be that Harry Kane region, right? Trying to spray balls wide and, keep people involved in the build-up, right? But, mate, I need you at the end of chances and scoring them. And I thought, based on his previous season, that we will get that, right? I know it's only 1 season, 19 goals. We can debate whether it was just a blip or whatever, right? But I thought we are getting that. I thought we are getting a finisher. And right now we are getting another guy to link up play, where we already have Kulusevski, Maddison, Porro, and other guys doing the creative job, right? So I don't know. Right now it looks like a mismatch for
Mikhail,
me.
can I ask you a
And I am
question?
really worried. I am really worried with that Solanke signing. Yeah, go on, Sam.
I'll ask you a question, Mikhail. One of the things that I think Stella and I talked about this on a show during the summer, when we signed Solanke, I mean, look, people can have their conversation about was it a 1-season wonder last year? And look, it's fair enough for people to do that because he's 27 and had 1 good year in the top flight. So it's fair enough. But more than that, for me, I don't know if you remember this, Stella, we talked about the difference between how Bournemouth play, how teams set up against Bournemouth, which allowed him to be the main man, allowed him to have a lot of room in front of goal, a lot of room running onto, because nobody puts 10 men behind the ball against Bournemouth. Coming to Spurs is a completely different ball game. You're playing in a system now where teams are starting to show us respect and put 10 behind the ball. Doesn't always have to be 10, but you know what I mean? They are starting to defend deeper. And then you see, what is the player about when he's not just scoring goals? And unfortunately for me, and I've always said I don't dislike Solanke. I just don't. It's just a bit meh. Like, Solanke for me should be at a club like Bournemouth. And the question I ask myself is, if Spurs are serious, is Solanke your number 1? Or is that the 3rd or 4th choice striker at your club? Because this guy, he's not getting in at Aston Villa. He's not as good as either of Aston Villa's strikers. He's not better than John Duran or Watkins. He's not getting in at Liverpool over any of their forwards. He's not getting in. He's not even going to get on City's bench, even though they don't have another striker. He's not getting in. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like
I agree.
Basic striker. He'll grab a few goals. I reckon he'll get 13, 14 goals. But you have to.
It's not looking like this.
I don't know. He's
okay.
Guys, very quickly.
I've got to, guys. Catch you all later. Come on, you Spurs.
Cheers.
Yeah, Trevor, for me, the only way, I mean, this is wishful thinking and a bit of dreaming here. The only way Dominic Solanke works for me is if you have players like Ginola and Bale that are comfortable beating their men. So if he's okay doing his stuff in the middle, if you've got that sort of player that's going to beat their man and then open the pitch up. But at the moment, we've got kind of, I mean, I gave credit to Brennan Johnson for 7 in 7 or whatever he got. He got nothing but credit. But as a football player, I've never once looked at him and gone, you're going to make something happen here. On your own, you're going to make something happen.
Yeah. That's exactly the point I was going to make. That was exactly the point I was going to make.
With Dominic Solanke, I don't think he's a bad football player, but I don't think in this sort of team, with our sort of wingers, I think he's going to have no luck whatsoever because all of these huff and puffing and grafting in the middle, the ball's going to go out wide and it's going to be wasted. So it's going to look worse. So I'm kind of giving him praise there, but then not if that makes sense. It's quite.
Would you take him over Nicholas Jackson?
No.
Saf,
I don't think he's necessarily the problem. I think our wingers are the problem. I think if you have him, you need goal scoring wingers.
That's exactly what I was going to make.
He's never in the box, James, is he?
No.
He's never in the
job,
box. When the wingers get the ball, Dominic Solanke's almost trying to be Harry Kane. He's on the halfway.
That's the point. Right?
So we can say if we have better wingers, but he's still never in the box. When I can't believe I'm saying this. When I watch Nicholas Jackson at Chelsea, and what I'm doing here, right, is I'm looking at the clubs around us. If I look at who's immediately around us, the Brightons, the Villas, the Newcastles, the Chelseas, the Man Uniteds, when I look at those clubs, I think, what have they got? I watch Nicholas Jackson. He's always in the box, right? I can't believe I'm bigging this guy up. He's always in the box. He's getting better game by game, this season. Right? He's linking up and then busting a gut to get in the box. Danny Welbeck at Brighton. I'd rather Danny Welbeck links up play, always in the box.
And Ferguson at Brighton.
With Eastack. Villa have got Watkins and Duran. And when I watch Solanke compared to those
Duran is, man. What a sign he
works hard, right, James? He works hard. He presses, but you don't pay 60 million for pressing. Like you could get a bloke from the non-league that presses.
Yeah. So is that Dominic Solanke's fault or is that Angie's fault?
Angie's fault because Angie wanted to play in the first place.
Yeah, if I can add on, if I can add
what
Sava said, right? Yeah, if I can add on what Sava said, right? I think Dom Solanke is used to dropping back, right, and spraying the ball out wide. That's what he did at Bournemouth most often, right? The issue was that when he was doing that for Bournemouth, there wasn't 10 men behind him, and the wingers had a lot of space to run into, right? Then he could join the attack and tap in a square ball or whatever, right? I think the issue now is that, first of all, our wingers, I think basically what we are doing is sacrificing Dom Solanke and his goal scoring to try and spread the ball out wide and allow Johnson, Son, or Werner, who aren't technically gifted, to just run in on goal and try to shoot and score, right? That's what I think we are doing. And I think my biggest issue is, as Sava said, right, when you look at teams around us, right, Brighton, I don't think it's only about like Welbeck being better than Solanke, but I also think it's about Minte and Mitoma being way better dribblers than our wingers are, right? When you look at Chelsea, you have Neto, Sancho, whoever else they have on the wing, right? When you look at Aston Villa, they have Bailey and whoever else plays on the other wing, it escapes you, right? I think overall, the whole front three of those teams are way better than ours, right? Or they are more technically gifted. I think they supplement each other way better, right?
What happened against Newcastle? Do you remember? Stell always brings this up. I hate giving Stell credit, but here we are. Just kidding, Stell. All we heard in the first 4 or 5 games, the first 2-3 games of the season was, but we're not putting teams away. We're not winning because all of these balls that are flashing in the box. If Solanke was playing,
I agree that that's part of the clip. Yeah, that's part.
Solanke's not there.
Yeah,
Solanke's there.
That's my biggest criticism I give the guy, right? I think he's doing that whole dropping back too much, and we just miss him in the box. There's no one in the box. That's my biggest issue, right?
That's not his job, though. That's not his job, though. I don't think that's his job because I think Andrew's brought him in to.
That's my point. That's why I said I think we are sacrificing him to try and facilitate our wingers who cannot take people on, right?
Michael,
I agree with all your points because I agree with all your points because I think the wingers are the problem, but I think the fact that Solanke's in there and just holding up the ball, but who's he? I think I've said this before on my channel as well. I've said this before. Who's he holding up the ball to? The wingers we've got. The only player that you can say is Son, and that's it for me.
There is issues with Solanke himself. He's not confident in front of the goal, right? Whatever chances he gets, he just flashes.
He's not good. He's 27. What has he ever done? What we've done here is we've got a manager.
Okay, I don't disagree, right?
we've got a manager that fans praised and said, "Oh, he unearths gems. Oh, he finds players that the others can't." So any player we sign now, automatically, Andrew's going to turn them into a diamond. I don't buy that. I simply don't buy that. In the Premier League, I don't buy that. Maybe one or two.
He's not a coach to do that, though. He's not a coach.
My point is, maybe one or two players he does it with, but we've signed 16 players under this manager. He's not going to do it with them. For me, I stick by what I said when we first signed him. Average player, you're going to get average end of season performance. That's what we're going to get.
Can I ask you a question?
He had one good season, right? He had one good season at Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth played a different way. Yeah, it probably worked for him. But I've said this so many times. There's certain players that do well at another club. Darren Bennett was classic. When they come to the bigger club where it's a different environment, the pressure's different, then they will show you what they're about. He's not it.
Hang on, still, do you not think, and I liken the Solanke situation to Soldado. Soldado scored 56 goals in 2 games, in 2 seasons in Spain. He had wingers that went outside the fullbacks and pulled the ball across, and he got on the end of them. What did we do? We played with a right-footed player on the left and a left-footed player on the right, and they would cut in instead of going wide.
Ian, who did he play for?
And Solanke and Soldado had no service.
Do you remember who he played for in Spain?
Valencia,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, it was Villarreal.
Was it Villarreal? Whoever it was, I mean, 56 in 2 seasons in Spain is pretty good going. But we played, Villas-Boas played Townsend cutting in from the right, wasn't it?
And Chadley on the left.
That's right. And it was a waste of time. I mean, as it worked out, it was a blessing in disguise because that gave Kane the chance to come through. But instead of looking at Solanke, and you think to yourself, he's not pulled up any trees at Liverpool and Chelsea. He's gone to Bournemouth. He's got a very good manager there who is playing the right system for him. And he scored 1 in 2 throughout the whole season. So what do? We buy a striker and then try and change him into a different system, which is what Spurs did with Soldado as well. It's pointless. You bring a player in.
Why did Liverpool and Chelsea, the big clubs, move him on?
And he played to his strength. I wasn't there. I don't follow Liverpool.
I know why. He's not at the level of these clubs. He's not at the level of these clubs.
But anyone who scores 19 goals,
where do you put this club?
But he plays.
I class this as a big 6 club, but yeah, I get your point.
Can I ask you a question here?
Finish off by saying that the most frustrating player for me, when you look at someone like Solanke, the most frustrating player, and I'm sure we all felt that watching the game tonight, is Werner. No player in our team up front has his pace. No player in our team flies away from the opposition's back 4 and then messes it up. Because if he is perfect, if he could only find that final ball, Solanke would get an absolute hatful. Because Werner makes it. Tonight was making it
never in the box. We keep blaming the wingers.
Solanke hasn't got the pace to keep up with the attack.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Whenever Kulu, Moore, Johnson, Werner, whenever I've seen these wingers get the ball out wide, we keep blaming the wingers, and I'm not saying they're great, but Solanke's nowhere to be seen. Like top forwards lay off the ball in midfield, they spin, and the first thing they do is, where am I getting in the box? And I talked earlier on my show about, remember the likes of Jermaine Defoe. Jermaine Defoe sniffed out a goal. Hang on, we're attacking. There's the 18-yard box. I'm going to get there. Solanke doesn't do that. And my question, if I can ask you a question to the panel still, is for 60 million, 65, whatever it was, what does he offer? What are we getting more than what we already had at the club in Richarlison?
Nothing.
I'm not
much more. Not much more.
No. But what have we actually, for 60 million, have we upgraded?
No. We knew this when we signed him. We knew this when we signed him, though.
I think we've upgraded.
How?
But in what? What does he do that Richarlison doesn't?
I think he works harder. I think he's better at holding the ball up. I think he's better on the ball. But bearing in mind, we're kind of like the bar's down here. So even if he's like mid-table, like for me, Richarlison's awful
I
player.
agree, but
So I think
Richarlison
he's better, but
Richarlison's numbers are better throughout his career. When you put their stats alongside each other, we did this in the summer. We actually put all their stats in their Premier League stats alongside each other. Solanke was better at like Richarlison at like one or two things. Everything else, and by the way, this is not me championing Richarlison. This is me saying if you're going to go and spend 50 million, the guy has got to be much better than the striker you are replacing. And I don't think his hold-up play is that good. I think it bounces off him a hell of a lot. I don't think his hold-up play is that good. I don't think his link-up play is that good. What he's excellent at is pressing. But if I want pressing, I'll go and buy Paul Dickoff or Craig Bellamy. But 60 million for a guy that presses. Look, I don't mind him, James. I don't mind him. I think he would be. Remember the days when we had Berbatov, King, Defoe, and Bent or Pav or whoever. Right? He would be that guy that is always on the bench. The fact that this is our number one striker, that tells me that we're not going anywhere. That tells me that in the big games, this guy's not going to pull up trees.
Guys, can I read something out to you? Right, let me read out something to you guys. These are strikers in the Premier League, all doing better than Solanke right now. Haaland, Watkins,
all night.
Right? Haaland, Watkins, Jackson, Havertz, Isaac, Welbeck, Mohamed Salah, Chris Wood, Delap, Vardy, Duran, Son's doing better. He scored more goals in the Premier League. Mateta, Rasmus Højlund, Pedro, Calvin Lewis is on tied.
Luis Diaz, Vissa, Buemo.
Right now why is that? Are we simply blaming our system and our players? Because those players don't play in teams, all of them, that are better than Tottenham. They don't.
Is that based on goals? Is that based on goals?
Goals scored in the Premier League, yeah.
So I
judge a striker primarily by the goals they score.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah. So the only thing, and again, I'm not disagreeing with any of that, by the way. The only thing I would say is there's been different kind of strikers, like a Bobby Firmino, and again, I'm not comparing the two, but he wouldn't score as many, but he had the Mane and Salah behind him, and sort of almost to counterbalance the argument as well about his pressing. I actually think that his pressing is also a bit of a downfall, because for me, Kulu is not good in a cam. Kulu's good in an 8 where he's deep and then he can beat his man, turn and drive. Towards the end of that game, Solanke was so deep that Kulu was then playing in midfield, but he was the furthest man forward. Therefore, he was turning onto 4 people. So even though his pressing was good, it was almost contradicting himself because he was pressing so far backwards that he was actually taking up the spaces of the likes of Toulouse and the midfielders. And I wonder if that's obviously affected Maddison as well, because when you're dropping back that deep, not only has he got the fullbacks coming in, he's got the striker dropping deep. Who can perform in a cam role in that sort of system? It's next to impossible.
So the one thing he's good at is his weakness, is what we're saying.
Could potentially, yeah. It could
but look, Chris Wood at Forest. Chris Wood has got 7 goals, and Buemo's got 8. How are those teams managing? Bearing in mind, one of those teams is above us, and the other one is level with us. How are those teams getting their forwards in? But I'm guessing Chris Wood was nowhere near 60 million. I'm guessing Buemo was nowhere near 60 million. How are these teams getting those strikers year in, year out, by the way? Year in, year out, these blokes are scoring goals. And Dominic Solanke, he don't ever look like... It's not that he's missing. You know, like sometimes with a striker, you go, oh, look how many chances he misses. Solanke never looks like scoring a goal.
I don't think he ever actually
we don't look like we've got a striker on the pitch when he plays. No.
I don't look at him as a striker. I don't look at him like someone who's going to score goals, though, Saba. That's the problem now. I don't even look look at him as someone that scores
Anyone tell me
goals.
the last time he took a touch and had a shot?
I just look at him like
took
who
a
he
touch
is.
and
He
had a
just holds
shot.
the ball and that's it.
He's a waste of money.
Which is not right for me. Is thinking that I shouldn't think like that. But I don't even look at him like a striker. That I just look at him like a Harry Heskey that just holds up the ball.
Can I say something? Sorry, after you're done. Yeah, I was gonna say I think we're better off just putting Son up front than signing a striker in the summer. If we were gonna do this, you're better off just having Son up front, signing 2 wingers like Eze and Neto that we were linked with. Forget the Solanke money. We're better off doing that.
This is what I said. I said Son's best position is striker. I don't think he's a winger no more. I don't think he's a left forward as much as what he used to be. I don't think he's an out-and-out striker, but the best position for him now is a striker, unless you get someone that can score more goals than him. And I've got a bet with Ian, and I'm going to cash in my chips end of the season when I'm proven right, because Solanke's not going to score more than Son in the Premier League. Not going to happen.
But for me, also, there's not much between Solanke and Richarlison anyway. Like, I don't see them as that much better. Like, Solanke's not that much better.
Technically better.
Who's going to score more goals, Timo Werner or Solanke?
Oh, I don't even know what to say on that one.
If Werner finishes up with more, I mean,
Werner's awful.
James,
man.
we'll sign him again if that happens. We'll re-sign him again.
No, if we sign him again, I'm sorry, I'm not in the mood.
Look, I don't mind him. I don't mind Solanke. That's the biggest compliment I can give him.
I do.
He's okay, but still, you've just hit the nail on the head. When I watch Spurs play, it doesn't look like we're playing with a centre forward. Again today, you watching that? Oh, yeah, we scored 2 goals. Again, nothing to do with him. We scored 2 goals. This guy's anonymous. I don't see him. In the first half, do you see how many times he dropped deep and tried to spray these 50-yard passes that kept going out?
Yeah.
Like, did we sign him to do that? Like,
I think we did. I think that's what we did.
I'm confused, Alex, because every video I saw was like all these people with these tactical experts, they had their tactics boards and went, the reason why Spurs have Dominic Solanke is I'm watching it and I don't see that he's doing anything different to Richarlison. I don't see that he's doing anything different to what Lancashire would do. Like I just truly don't see what he does. That's a worry.
Lancashire's our striker. At least he's an out-and-out striker. At least he takes shots.
I don't see what he does. I really
That's
don't.
what I wanted Ivan Toney. That's what I wanted Ivan Toney. That's why I wanted a proper striker.
I want to bring him
The
out.
problem is playing Solanke in this way, or whatever he's doing, I don't know what he's doing, but is that you need to have wingers, like if we're to compare him to the Firmino thing, you need to have wingers who are scoring like 30 goals a season each, or 25 to 30 goals a season each. Like, obviously Liverpool had Salah and Mane at the time.
The season Liverpool won the league has, the season Liverpool won the league, Salah, Mane, Firmino between them scored just over 50 goals, and Firmino only got 10 of them. So
yeah,
you
so what
wingers
I'm saying
that are
is,
going to score 20 plus each.
Wingers that are going to hit like crazy numbers.
Matt, I want to come to you, but quickly, I've got some super chats. Sun Illa says Iggy for president. I agree. Let's do it immediately. Scott M, channel member, 37 months. Big up, Scott. Mr. Box Office, the voice of the true fans. There's some love for you, Alex. John Lee says, I just need any trophy for Son for the season before Sonny retires. I'd love to see Son lift the trophy at Spurs, John Lee. And Dio says, do you think a combination of Veliz, Scarlett, Lancashire could have produced similar stats as Solanke at this? That's a great question. Yeah. That's a great question.
Good question.
I don't know about Scarlett. I think we've overhyped him. Veliz, he's been crap in Spain. Lancashire, maybe. You know, we don't know with these players. We just
they
don't know.
probably have had more shots, though.
Yeah, they would have had more shots. Matt, we've had chats about Solanke. It's been 9 games in the Premier League. He scored 2. We saw him again tonight. Just meh. Where are you at with Solanke? Have we wasted our money? Have we overpaid?
I think he's probably been overpriced, but I think I'm going to slightly disagree with most of the panel. I think Solanke is he's a focal point for the team, and should he be getting more goals? Yes. Will he get more goals as the season goes on? I believe so. But I think he does a lot of work that sometimes doesn't hit the highlight reel. I think he pins centre halves. I think very rarely when a ball gets played up to the number 9, does it come straight back. The challenge we've got if you play Son is he's not a number 9. He doesn't take up natural positions, and top teams read that. Son's a moment player. He has moments. He doesn't offer himself up with his back to goal as a shield. He's not someone who's going to take the weight or the pressure off the team. He's a moments player. So I think it would be an absolute mistake to put Son back as a number 9. The ball would keep coming back. If the ball drops to anybody in the team, who do you want it to drop to? 100 times out of 100, I want it to drop to Son. He's still the best finisher at our football club. He's just not involved in the game, especially with his back to goal. If we're under the pump and we're under pressure, Son is not your guy. What Solanke does at the moment, and I understand the criticism, yeah, but he costs 65 million, we want more. Today's game, I think he assessed the game and he looked like we were under the pump. The amount of times he came back and helped out that midfield and got a toe in or stopped a pass going to a certain player and helped out, that goes unnoticed. I think we've got to get ourselves in a position where the team wins and sometimes the number 9 doesn't score. We've had periods where the number 9 has scored and we've lost football matches.
Matt, he never scores.
He never scores.
But this is 9 games in this 38 games plus cup competitions. Let's measure Solanke in May. Let's measure him in May.
He's 20. Well, we've got to stop doing this. He's 27.
Yeah, but hang on, Saba. That's not really the point. What we should be asking ourselves is, we spent the same money to buy Richarlison when Isak went to Newcastle. Both players were available in that summer. The question we should be asking ourselves is, why did we end up with Richarlison and why did Newcastle end up with Isak? Same money.
Of course.
Let me tell you the answer. Richarlison's on £90,000 a week. Isak's on £135,000 a week. There's your answer. That's what we ended up with.
Were we in for Isak, though? Before we just jump to that conclusion, were we in for Isak?
So that's even worse then. That's even worse for us. That's even worse for Spurs. That's even worse.
I agree with you, but I get it. I'm not, as I said to you, I'm not going to sit here and say there's no merit to what Solanke does. But the thing is, I almost feel that half the battle has been lost by the debate when the conversation about your £60 million striker is, but we don't, it's all the things we don't see. No other striker do we talk about. No other striker gets talked about like that. You know what I mean?
But Saba, some strikers don't start the season in a bucket full of goals. And then the second half of the season, they end up scoring goals and finish on 15, 18, 20 goals a season. At the end of the day, let's measure him. We're not in May yet, are we? We haven't got a crystal ball.
Sure, but we've got 10 years. We've got 10 years of evidence. So is he that guy? We've got 10 years of data of him being a professional footballer to tell us this. We're doing this thing again, Matt. When a player signs for us, we want to rewrite history. Suddenly goals are not the measurement of a £60 million striker, and I've got to be grateful that he works hard.
We're too reactionary. We're far too
reactionary, Bob. We're not reactionary. That's not reactionary.
We're not reactionary. Some of us said this in the summer when we signed him, that we didn't think he was that great. So when what we're seeing now kind of justifies what we thought, that's not reactionary. That's us turning around and going, yeah, this is why I didn't want to spend £60 million. He's okay. But have you really seen anything from him, Matt, that tells you he's ever going to bang in goals regularly, right? And that he is the big game player that Tottenham need? Have you really?
I think he's shown for me he's going to lead the line. And I think he's going to make Tottenham a better team. We seem a lot more assured. When that ball goes up to him, more often than not, it sticks. More often than not. I'll agree with James.
Completely.
Hang on, let me finish that, man. I agree with James. The ball comes into him. How many times does he do a half turn, a lovely ball into Johnson or whatever, and spin? More often than not, the ball breaks down in the next phase. If that wide forward does something and then puts it into the box and Solanke's not there, then we can start to look at Solanke. But at the moment, more often than not, when he does his part with his back to goal and then turns his man and then plays it wide, what happens next? And at the moment, more often than not, it breaks down.
But Matt, I don't think that's true. I'm gonna call this out right now. Can you please provide me some evidence right now that this happens? From what my eyes are showing me, when I'm watching him, more often than not, he's not receiving the ball, holding it up and laying it off. The number of times in the last 3 or 4 games I've seen Solanke turn with the ball and run it out, turn with the ball, and the defender nicks it off him. I feel like what we're trying to do is we're doing this thing that Tottenham fans are brilliant at. We have zero standards. So what we do is find an excuse for players that don't perform. We are a football club that have got 18 league goals. This guy's been involved in 3 of them, and 2 were from shots from other players that he just tapped in. Now that's fine, but this guy's been involved in 3 goals in a team that scores 18 goals. Now, for me, if we want to turn around and go, yeah, but it could come good the second half of the season, that could apply for every striker that has ever played.
I'm not saying he could come good in the second half of the season. I'm saying he, for me, has led the line as a number 9. You mentioned Nicholas Jackson. How many chances did Nicholas Jackson miss last season for Chelsea?
Sure.
How many?
How old?
He was on Timo Werner level last season.
Sure. And how old is
That's
Nicholas
got nothing
Jackson?
to do with it.
Of
How
course
many
it does,
chances?
because Nicholas Jackson is improving. Nicholas
sit down.
Jackson is improving, Matt. See you, James.
Take care, guys.
Matt, Nicholas Jackson came into the Premier League as a young striker, right? Context. Last
Missed
year,
a lot of sitters last year. Yes or no?
Hang on, Matt. Nicholas Jackson last year was bought as a sub striker.
He was
Nicholas
22 when he
Jackson-
joined. He was 22 when he joined Chelsea.
He only joined to be a backup, but Nkunku got injured for the season. Nicholas Jackson went in. This is what Pochettino said last year. He said he shouldn't be playing many games. We didn't buy him as the main man. We wanted him to have more time to learn. As last season went on, Nicholas Jackson's running off the ball got better. His passing got better. His finishing got better. He's carried that on into this season. You see the improvement. Dominic Solanke's a 27-year-old striker who's had
Correct.
one decent season in the Premier League, and our
For
fans
goals.
are going
For
raptures
goals.
about.
How are you measuring? How are you measuring Solanke?
He's a centre forward. At the
Correct.
end of the day, you've got to measure a centre forward by goals, right?
Not only goals, though. Not only goals. What
Sure.
you've got to ask yourself, hang on, Sabah. What you've got to ask yourself is, if you're playing as a centre forward, do you lead the line? Do you bring players into the game? And do you contribute in the goals column as well?
Sure.
When you ignite a team, it's not only about goals. There's been many goal scorers that teams have not been successful. Ian might remember in 1966, England had by far the best goal scorer at the time. He got injured, Ian, early on in the tournament, correct? Jeff Hurst was not on equal level in goal scoring, but he was more of a team player. Alf Ramsey kept Jeff Hurst in the team. When Jimmy Greaves got back fit, couldn't get back in the team, England ended up winning the World Cup. Yes or no, Ian?
Yeah, no, definitely. And the other thing I just want to say is, do we always?
I think we all know the story of 1966. We're not all like, but that's got nothing to do with Dominic Solanke.
I'm giving you the information. Sorry, go on, Ian.
Matt, do we judge Vicario as a shot stopper, or do we say well, he's got to be this, and he's got to be that, and he's got to be the other.
Judge him as a goalkeeper.
It's the same thing. It's the same
Judge him
thing.
as a goalkeeper.
It's a different position, though, Ian.
No, but whatever it is, each player has to have more than one skill set.
Ian. Okay. Oh, no,
Correct.
this is a great question. It's an easy answer. What's a goalkeeper's main job?
That's fair enough, to be a shot stopper. So for me, Vicario
Well,
is
the answer is to stop balls going in the back of the net.
Correct.
Right? What's a striker's main job?
To score goals.
To put balls in the back.
Can
of
you
the
bring
net.
up the screen?
Yeah.
If you look at the five, I'll bring it up. In the last 5 years, if you look at the last 5 years of Solanke, the last 5 years of Richarlison has scored more than Solanke on average, and we class Richarlison as crap.
Well, I don't see any
have
improvement
in
on Richarlison with Solanke, to be honest. And we spent 57 million plus add-ons with
They're
Solanke.
about the same cost anyway.
I would have
Look at that.
Solanke every day of the week.
So Matt, talk me through this. This is the guy you're backing. Look at the state of that. That's his career. Look at the state of it.
I can't see that very well. Can you enlarge that?
Just read it out. Someone read it out.
Right. Okay, hang on. I'll make this bigger for you. So you can see, right? Because this is. Oh, hang on. No, actually, that's not going to work. Yeah, no, it will. There you go. So if we go back, can you see this? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that now.
Back to Premier League. So there, 21 Premier League games, 1 goal. All right, he was a youngster. 1 goal. Shifted on from Liverpool. Didn't get a game the next season. Shifted on. Went to Bournemouth in the Premier League. 10 games, no goals. 32 games, 3 goals. Championship, prolific. Premier League, 6 goals. That 119, that one figure there, you can all see my cursor hovering over. That 119 is the reason why fans are backing him. 1 season of 19 goals. And if you're going to sit there and try and tell me, but we've got to look at everything else he does, you're telling me that for 60 million, we couldn't have found someone better. We couldn't have found somebody at 30 million that holds the ball up. We couldn't have found 30 million.
If you'd let me finish, I was also, when I was giving the illustration of Isak, I was going to talk about Gyökeres, who was at Coventry, right? So Brighton signed Gyökeres, put him out on loan, brought him back, was never quite sure about him. He then went on loan to Coventry in the Championship, scoring goals. They then bought him for £6 million, Coventry, scored goals. When I was giving the illustration of why didn't we look at Isak, that brings me back to the second point. So there was Gyökeres at Coventry that went to Sporting, I'm going to say, is it Lisbon?
Yes.
For £25 million. So if you are asking me, is £65 million a lot of money for Solanke? Yes, it is. But we've got him. And what I would say is, Gyökeres, value for money, is the better striker, but we don't have him. We've got Solanke. And what I'm saying is, what he's shown for me is that he's going to lead the line for Tottenham. He has to improve in the goal scoring department, but I've seen enough to say he will improve that Tottenham front three, and he will be an asset for Tottenham going forward.
Based on what?
And hopefully,
that was my question. Based on what?
From what I've seen. From what I'm seeing.
He's not scoring, Matt. He's not shooting.
He's not scoring.
Well,
he's not
getting the end of passes.
Matt,
He's not
scoring. He's not scoring. He's not assisting. He's never in the penalty area to score goals. He's had 9 shots. He's had 9 shots in the Premier League on target. 4 are with his head. 2 were tap-ins. So what data, what evidence are we going to say you've seen enough to see that he's leading the line well? Like, why can't we ever just say that a player just is okay? Why do we always have to find a way to hype up these average footballers?
I'm not hyping him up. I'm not. Hang on. Sabi, you're putting words in my mouth here. Be careful. You're putting words in my mouth. I'm not hyping him up. I am saying he has been.
I kicked Sava out. Sava, come back. I accidentally kicked you out. Sorry. Matt, no, keep talking. Sava, come back. I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, Matt, keep talking. He'll come back. He'll come back.
I just, guys, I think we just my observation. We are very reactional. It's the season is we're judging players
I
after
don't agree with
9
that.
games. Let me finish, Alex. Let me finish, please. We're judging a player after 9 games. Let's have this conversation in May. There's been strikers at clubs that haven't started in the goals column particularly well. But over the season...
No, you're right, Matt. You're right. Let's judgment in the season. But up to now, I'm very, very disappointed. Up to now, so far. Aren't you, as a striker?
Listen, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion.
As a striker,
I think he's been...
disappointed with him?
Am I disappointed with him? No. No.
I don't rate my strike.
That shows our standards, doesn't it? That's our standards right there,
I
Matt.
don't rate my strike.
But we're not disappointed in a guy. Do you know the last time? Do you know how many games for club and country since Dominic Solanke scored a goal?
Oh God, just
Do you know? I've just looked. Do you know? And this is the beautiful thing about having the internet. We've all got it. Do you know how many?
How many?
He's not scored in 7 games of football, right? And you know what's worrying? He don't look like score. Like he doesn't. It's not like he's missing. This guy doesn't look like he's a centre forward. He's never up front. He doesn't score. He doesn't assist. But I'm told, but the phase of play when he drops deep and he links up. We don't need that. I was told all last year, we were told we need a centre forward. We need a centre forward. We're missing Kane. We need a centre forward. We bring in a centre forward who don't score a goal, and now the goalposts are, but it's the other things he does. For 60 million, score some bloody goals.
Sav, do you think an issue is? Sav, do you think a problem is with Solanke is the style of football that we play?
I just don't think he's that good.
We don't play it long enough, do we? We don't mix it up.
I've not been funny. Ange chose him. He specifically said he wanted him as a striker.
It was his choice.
Sorry, I can't. This excuses thing. I can't do it anymore. This is why this is not my manager. This is not my manager. I'm sorry, right? I mean, Kulu's better than him right now. To be honest with you, if we don't have Kulu in the team today, we don't score the goals. Well, but Kulu's making things happen more than bloody Solanke is.
But he's not.
He's not number 9. But the point I'm making is, Matt. Is that we don't win the games because of Solanke. We're winning the games because of Kulu. So that just shows you where Saba's point is. Maybe not making Saba's point, exactly what Saba's point, but the point I'm making is,
Alex, look at Terry's comment. Look at Terry's comment in the chat. He's bang on, right? He's bang. Look, Terry O'Shea said he needs to stop the link up and leave that to our 2 attacking midfielders. This manager has got a system where he's got Maddison and Kulusevski in the middle to create, but yet I'm meant to be grateful that Solanke also comes back to link up. Get up front. You're a centre forward. Get up front. I'm sorry. I'm not hating on him. I just don't rate him. I don't see.
So, do you not think he's...
Just quickly, when we constantly do this, let's rate a player in May. Bloody hell! Do you know how many years I heard that with Sissoko, with Winks, with Skip, with Lamella, with Bergwijn, with Janssen, with Vinicius, with with Dyer? Wait till May. He'll score 12 to 13 Premier League.
That's a ridiculous sentence. Are we going to be judge and jury in October? Is that what you're saying? We got to be judge and jury in October.
I'm judging him on 9 games. I'm judging him on his.
What are you just saying? What have you just said? Listen, rewind what you've just said.
Yeah,
I keep hearing people say wait till May.
Matt, I agree with you that we should judge him into May. I said I agree with you. What I don't agree with you is that right now you think he's doing well. That bit I don't agree with. Right now I think he stinks.
Yeah.
I think he's
he's doing everything except scoring goals.
And that's his main job. He's a striker.
No, hang on. Sav,
we just said when you sign a striker,
No, of course, absolutely. No, I agree with you. And
he's not doing that.
It showed up Sunday. A lot of you said to me, what do people say in the ground? Well, people were saying, why are we playing this stupid tippy-tappy? It's all slow. Palace are putting 10 men behind the ball. We need balls over the top. We don't play that way. It's literally slow. And if we move it quickly enough on the odd occasion, we're good counter-attacking.
Right. Okay. Tonight, if there's one negative that so many Spurs fans were saying online and in the comments when we start the show, go back and look at the first kind of 50 comments.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, we are shit across the front line. He's part of that. He is a part of that.
Right.
So we can't have it both ways.
Now he's good. Matt, this is the thing. I agree with you. If you bring in a player, like if we bring in a player from, I don't know, if we bring in a player from Holland and they're 21, 22 years of age and they're coming in, I'll say, right, you know what? You've moved family, you're young, you've never played Premier League football before. Let's give them till May to see how they do. Dominic Solanke is a 27-year-old striker who's played football for 10 seasons. The reason why I say I'm not going to judge him in May is I've seen years of Solanke that tell me this is not the guy. This is a decent player. But again, maybe my benchmark of what Spurs need to get better is different to yours. But we keep doing this with players. We keep finding these players and finding reasons why when they don't do their job, that it's not their fault. He's 27. He should be coming in, banging in goals. We play on the front foot. The team has scored a lot of goals. He should be. I'm not saying he has to have 10, but the guy doesn't score. He doesn't assist. He doesn't create. His passing's not very good. I think the ball bounces off him more often than not.
You're not knocking him. But you're not knocking him.
At the weekend, you brought out some stats on my show.
Against who was it we played the last game we played? Crystal Palace, right? And who was it we played before that? Before Palace? West Ham. Against West Ham, he lost possession 13 times, and against Crystal Palace it was 18 times. He misplaces a lot of balls. A lot.
He's not that great a footballer. We are judging him off of a hot goal scoring streak last year. And if you look at his goals last year,
he wins a lot of aerial duels. That was probably the best stat that he had. He wins a lot of
How do you get a tune out of him then? How do you think you get a tune out of him?
You don't. He's average.
I don't think you do. I think he's going to get 13 to 14 league goals. And then our fans will defend that that's a good return. And then we move on.
My biggest problem with him right now is I'm not even seeing him make the runs. So it's like, well, yeah. And then you look at someone like Maddison, who gets a lot of stick, and bear in mind, I'm part of that as well, right? Not as much as everyone else, but Maddison's probably looking up, thinking, am I going to put the ball? The wingers aren't making runs, and now my striker's just playing like right next to me. So how am I going to put the ball in if I can score a goal? And it's like he's not even making any runs. So how do you expect him to score? So it's like,
you think when Maddison was at Leicester City, every time he looked up, Jamie Vardy's making a run. Every time he looked up, Jamie Vardy is making that run. You watch him now. Madison gets pelters. He's got to be the only number 10 in the world that's asked to play defensive midfield and tackle. And when he gets the ball, he's got no target man to actually feed in. He's got no one running in behind. And then we all have a go at him. Oh, Maddison's not done well today.
Well, he's not been a number 10.
Making runs.
But this is why we should play Son up front. Because at least Son last season, in those 10 magical games we had under Ange, at least Son was making the runs for Maddison to put him in. Okay, our wingers aren't that great.
Maddison's not been able to be a number 10. He doesn't get into the final third because he's always having to be in that number 6 role and be number 8.
I'm saying, but in those 10 games, we had some sort of success.
Yeah, agree with you.
Son was at least making the runs for him to put him in. So that's
still, will he come down two posts, Chris, to Chris Green, and just have a look at this post that he's just put up. Go back and keep coming down.
What's up? This one?
Chris Green. If you scroll down a bit more, I think Chris's post, we just lost it. It was just up there just now.
Hold on, let me see.
Do you know the time of it? Have you got the time of it?
No, it was like a minute ago. Within the last minute, it was.
Yeah,
this is the one.
But was this it? To be fair, we tried
Chris
too much
Gray,
time
working
working.
into a crowded penalty box and hope we get lucky, which is that is the truth. There's too much tippy tappy. We allow teams to set up in front of us, and obviously people like Solanke are just not going to get the service. I'm not saying that what you're I'm not saying that what you're talking about recent performances. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just saying we don't play to his strengths.
Is he ever in the box, Ian? I like Chris. Big up, Chris. Hope you're well, mate. But early balls into Solanke would be better. The bloke's not up front. What early ball are you playing him into? He's playing on the halfway line.
That's
early ball?
That's the problem.
Sure.
But he's playing under instructions, Sav.
Well, that's the manager's fault then.
Strikers with instinct. They're playing under instruction.
Can I?
With instinct, they get in that box. That their first thought is box, spin, box, right? Listen, he's okay. Listen, have you ever watched him in his career, Ian, and gone top striker? Be honest.
No, I haven't. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, Sav, and you know, we both watch all the games. Solanke was exhausted by the end of the match today. The amount of running and chasing he did. You know, we had, I think it was 31% possession. Yeah,
Janssen did that. Janssen did that under Pochettino. We didn't give him congratulations over that, didn't we? You know what I mean?
Sorry, how do you mean, Alex? So I don't understand.
Was it Vincent Janssen? You know Vincent Janssen?
Yeah, another one.
Bob. He used to work hard. He used to work hard for the team.
Yeah.
We didn't score that many goals. We didn't give him credit for working hard, didn't we?
Ian, do you know what we're doing here? Do you know what we're doing here? By the way, Jamie, thank you for the super chat. He says, my only thing is Solanke is playing with two below average wingers in Johnson and Timo. Any top striker in the world would look bad playing with these two players. Right? I want to say something here, right? When we criticise Adogi, it's the manager's fault because he plays him too much. When we criticise Archie Gray, it's the manager's fault. He's not playing him in the correct position. When we criticise Solanke, it's the manager's fault because he's making him play the wrong way. At what point do we say the players aren't actually good enough? Because you see Harry Kane, he played under 7 different managers, including England, 8 different managers. God knows how many different systems. God knows how many different methods. He's scored. Do you know why? Because he's fucking good. Why is it Solanke? He can only score if we play a certain one way. That means you're not a good player.
Exactly.
You know, following Kane is like any manager following Alex Ferguson.
But he's not following Kane. We've got to get Kane out of our minds.
My point is, Kane can adapt and score regardless.
Of course he can. He's a fantastic player. He's world class, Harry.
So therefore, Solanke is okay. So there are players that are good who aren't world class that still do it when they. Jermaine Defoe, he wasn't world class. He scored anywhere he went. He scored everywhere he went.
I love
Ollie Watkins still. Is Ollie Watkins world class? No. But every time you watch Aston Villa, I guarantee you Ollie Watkins is in that box. Every time you watch Aston Villa, you watch him. He is involved. He is involved in everything.
Sure. I must tell you, Sav, I'm at the David Pleat evening tomorrow evening.
Don't forget to speak to the trust for me, by the way.
The trust, it's the trust evening with David Pleat, and
good. Yeah,
I'll have a word with him. I'll ask him to see if he'll come on the show still.
Yeah, bring him on.
And one of the things I'm sure David Pleat will come out with, which is something I was told a few years ago, is that Pleat spent the whole summer when he was leaving Brentford, Watkins, telling Levy, buy Ollie Watkins, he's the player you want. And Levy wouldn't spend the money because he didn't think Watkins would get into the first team, and he wasn't going to pay 27 million, and he ended up paying a £3 million loan fee for Carlos Vinicius. And that sums up the club.
Could we have non-football people making football decisions?
I completely agree.
Just read out Jeff Patterson, what Jeff Patterson just said there.
Where are you looking? What time?
No, it's there still.
109.
Yeah, 109. Yeah.
Watkins struggled in the beginning. Yeah, but how old is Watkins? He's young.
Hang on.
He's a year older. He's a year older than Solanke.
Oh God!
Matt, do you know what? This is a harsh lesson in reality for you. Before you jump on board with comments
really?
without knowing some stats, I have got Ollie Watkins
Fair
stats
play,
right
well done.
here.
Fair play.
First and foremost, look at Ollie Watkins. He struggled at the beginning. Did he? He got 14 in 36 games and 5 assists. He got 19. No, hang on.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Is this in the
No.
Premier League? In the Premier League?
He got, listen, hang on. In his first season for Aston Villa, right? Aston Villa have been in the league for 5 years, right? Is that fair? They've been in the Premier League for the last 5 years. Yes?
Yeah.
Could be right. 2019. Yeah.
Right. So in 2020, 2021, Ollie Watkins got 19 goal contributions in 36 games. That's not struggling.
So he was young when he started then. He was 22, 23.
He was 22, 23 when he joined Aston Villa, right? In his next season, he only got 14 goal contributions. But the season after that, 21. Last season, he got 31 goal contributions. So Ollie Watkins has gone boom, 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 and got better and better and better. Ollie Watkins is 1 year older than Solanke, but when Ollie Watkins was 22, 23, he was still banging in 15, 20 goal assists, goal contributions a season. So all of this, Ollie Watkins struggled at first. Where did he struggle?
Okay, so that's in May. I live in Birmingham. Ask, which I did, speak to Aston Villa fans when Ollie Watkins started at the start of the season. He struggled.
Sure.
He wasn't as good as now.
Hang on.
And the difference?
Let me finish.
Go on.
One of my closest friends is a season ticket holder at Villa.
Yep.
I still knows him. I speak to him regular. He struggled in the first half of the season for Aston Villa.
Right. And the difference?
That's it.
So
he finished. You're reading those numbers by May, and all I've said is let's measure him in May.
No.
That's all I've said.
No. Okay. So let me tell you then. So let's now add some context to your argument, right? When Ollie Watkins went to Aston Villa in his first season, he'd never played Premier League football before and was 22 years of age, right?
Correct.
A huge difference between him coming up from the Championship to the Premier League to settling in and finding his feet.
So that you're giving a caveat there now, aren't you? You're giving a caveat. He's got to settle in.
Is 27 years of age and has played in the Premier League many times before. So there is no comparison between Ollie Watkins joining Villa as a younger striker who'd never played in the Premier League and still getting nearly 20 goal contributions in his first season compared to Dominic Solanke, who's a seasoned pro, who's playing in the Premier League, knows it. There's no comparison, Matt. What you're doing there, the Leeds kids call it the straw man. That's what you're doing.
I think that's a little bit condescending there, Saba.
But it's true. But Matt, it's true.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think that's a little bit condescending?
No, no. Sorry, you've put forward an argument. You've put forward an argument. Okay. I've broken it down because you've said, you've gone, oh, look what this guy said. It's really true. Sure, I've broken it down. One was 22 and their first year in the Premier League. One is 27 and very experienced. Okay. So I'm not going to wait until May.
Okay. Do you not think Solanke, who started his career at Chelsea, shows that he comes from good pedigree?
No.
These clubs have looked at him at Chelsea and Liverpool. No.
Did he come through the academy, Matt? Did he come through the academy?
At Chelsea, yes.
What did he do?
He would. Okay, Matt, hold on. Then in that case, because I know Chelsea's academy is fucking brilliant. He would have been a good youth player then. At youth level, he would have been good. But so was Dane Scarlett. So,
and look at how many Chelsea players in the youth have left.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They just leave them. You know what I mean.
But my original sentence was, let's measure Solanke by May. That's the thing. I've been consistent all the way through this topic. We're judging him after 9 games. Yes, he's 27.
It's not 9 games. This is his career. This is what we've seen throughout his career, Matt.
We're measuring him at Tottenham, not Bournemouth. We're measuring him at Tottenham.
Right. He should be doing better at Tottenham if he's any good. He should be doing better, surely.
Yeah, I'm
All
not.
right,
I'm not
I'll
so
tell you
sure.
I'll tell you what. We're gonna bring this up into the season, and that will be the decider because
I
then
don't rate him, Stelios. I don't rate him, Stelios. I don't
And
rate.
that's
I
your
don't rate him.
opinion. Listen, you're entitled to your opinion.
It gets to a point where I just like no one's going to tell me to start waiting till because I don't rate my
but
front
the point,
three.
Alex,
I
the
don't
point is,
rate
the
my
point is,
midfield.
the
I
point
don't
is,
rate them.
I don't rate him either, Alex. I don't rate him either. I've said it like all night. The point is, end of May, if he's scored 20 goals, we're silenced. If he scores 5, then what we said now was true.
Well, that's
And
what
then
a realist does. Needs to
That's
see
all.
it.
Still,
Needs to see it. That's what I'm saying.
yeah. Can I mention one player who was okay first half of the season and was absolutely phenomenal the second half of the season? Was just brilliant. Was Michael Carrick. So let's see. Let's see Solanke. Sorry, Hans?
He was a young player though when he came to Tottenham.
He was another young one.
It's another young kid.
It's not. Solanke's been in the
When he
league
was
for
so
years.
young, I think he
He's been
played
in the
several
league.
years for
He's
West Ham.
7 years old.
He played several years for West Ham.
But the difference is with Carrick, right?
Carrick.
Santini didn't want to play him.
Yeah,
right? He never
you're
wanted
right.
him.
No, it's
right?
Martignol,
And then
wasn't it?
Martin Yole come in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Martin Yole came in and said, "No, we need Carrick," right? And then he had good 1.5, 2 good season, 1.5
Well, 2
season.
years. I think
He had 4 phenomenal months, Alex. He was brilliant. The last half
exactly.
he was
But he was not happy
We
under
signed Michael
Santini.
Carrick when he was 23.
Yeah,
Signed him when
but
he
he
was
wasn't
23.
happy.
He left
He
United
wasn't
when
happy
he was
under
25, I
Santini.
think.
Santini was not playing him. He was not happy. I don't think Santini rated him. And then when Martin Yole came in, he said, "No, I'm going to have Carrick in my team." And then he flourished after that. He had Davids. I think he had Davids next to him, didn't he?
Davids, Genius, and Tinio, I think.
I think that was it. Yeah, but he really because Martin Yole said, "Yo, I need this player in my team."
Yeah, he made him like his main player. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
I just feel like we do this with every player. I feel like it's Groundhog Day. We buy a player, we overpay, and then we constantly we're battling. When is a player going to come in and we're going to go, "Oh, that's why we paid for them"? Why are we always having to find these excuses and have these battles as to why they don't do well? Top players will come in and do well. There's a reason.
That's a culture. That's a culture of a club. That's a culture that we've got.
It's a quote. It's a quote.
Yeah, but Alex, it's the caliber of players we buy as well. We buy these players. I'll ask you this, Alex. If in the summer, Fulham signed Solanke, would you have been surprised? I would have been like, that's his level. Like, do you know what I mean? When a player goes to a club, you go, "Oh, that's a good move for them." That's how I feel about Solanke to Spurs. It's a good move for him. I don't think it's a good move for us. But our standards are so low at this football club. So low that we want to give experienced players. Give him a year. Let's just wait a year for our £60 million striker to decide that he wants to take some shots at goal. Like, at what stage does his instincts kick in? At what stage does he start?
This is why I can't give credit to the team at the moment. That's why I can't really give the team because I don't rate these players because I don't see what we've made better from the players that we've let go of. You see what I'm saying? And I still just don't see it. I just feel that I don't feel excited by most of these players. The only player that has actually made me excited at the moment is Mikey Moore when he had that 15 minutes. That was only a 15-minute cameo. That was only a 15-minute cameo, and that's it. You know what I mean? The only one that's actually looking good at the moment, to be honest with you, is Kulusevski. I've got to give him his flowers because, to be honest with you, if he doesn't do what he done today, because it's like quick thinking that he had, right, in the game today, we don't win that game today. We do not win that game today. You have to be honest.
He's been our best player this season, Alex.
I've got to be honest. Yeah, I've got to be honest. He's actually shown a little bit of more football brain than what he's doing. But at the moment, I don't rate anyone at the moment. And I've got to be honest. You know what I mean? Sorry. You know what I mean?
I just want to not be able to make excuses for players for once. I
didn't need to make excuses for Berbatov.
That's a top. Like, as again, when we signed Robbie Keane goes straight in, does well. We all love him. Jermaine Defoe, another one. Michael Carrick, these players. when they come in, right, you go, yeah, look at them. I just feel like for years I've been battling against people with all these players. And the funny thing was, all the players, Stel, and you must hear me on this, right? All the players that we have battled with people about for 3, 4, 5 years. You're wrong, you're negative, Ndombele this, Lo Celso that, Sissoko this, Dyer, Sanchez, Lamela. They're all going to, next year's their year, give them a year, this year, that year. Then, when it suits fans, it's, oh, but we need to get rid of all that deadwood. Oh, you mean the deadwood that you've been telling me for years? Give him a year, give him a year, give him a year. We never can just turn around and go, it's underwhelming. And I'm sorry, if anyone's watching Solanke and not underwhelmed.
So, the best players, go to the best clubs and they're on the best money. And we don't pay the best money. So who's going to come to Spurs? What top players?
We need to stop this attitude. We need to stop this now.
It's the truth, Alex.
Yeah, but I'm done with this, bruv. I mean, it's like me waiting to be married. I'm fed up a bit, bruv. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have any hope, bruv. I'm done. That's why I'm going on holiday next week, because I hear this every single week. It's boring.
Brighton pay the best money.
Boring.
Sorry?
You know what I mean?
Do Brighton pay the best money?
Brighton buy a different type of player. Brighton won't go and buy a guy Carissa at 75 million.
And so they would, but what Brighton do is they go and find the Matoma, and we all go, I'd have him. We don't find them. We never find them. Do we?
The scouting's better than ours.
I don't know. I think Vicario at 17 million is a snip.
Yeah, because he's shit. What are we talking about?
What are you talking about? He's shit.
Did you see him today flapping?
He flapped at a couple. It doesn't mean he's shit.
Okay.
He's a shot stopper, Sam. He's a brilliant shot stopper. Do you want your keeper?
Every goalkeeper's a brilliant shot stopper. I learned that when I was doing my coaching badges. I've never seen. How many goalkeepers you see that don't stop shots?
Guys, you're going to hate me, but I have to end it because I've got to be up early. I've got to be in central London at 9 a.m. and we've been going for 3 hours.
Our standards are so low. Vicario now being praised.
Listen, I want to say thank you to the people who put the super chats. A user, Dietrich Kane, Sunila, Scott M channel member, big up. John Lee, Dio, Jamie Allen. We will be back on Sunday to be debating the exact same players over again for another 4 hours. What we do every week. Make sure you're here. Listen, please follow Sava's channel if you haven't already. I'm sure most of you have. Get over there, Football Heritage TV. Make sure you follow Hasper. Big up to Hasper as always, and Mr. Box Office, Professor of Truth and Entertainment. Boys, it's been emotional. I'm definitely not going to go back and watch this one. Normally I go back and watch it.
No, that was it wasn't the most entertaining game in the world, weren't it? Man City dominated.
I'm talking about the show, Alex. I'm talking about the show.
Can I say one thing before we go? Just one thing.
Go for it.
All the people in the chat, whenever a football fan at Tottenham attempts to have standards, right? Attempts to have standards. I'm so sick of being told you think the club's bigger than it is. Maybe your standards are too high. I'm sorry. Didn't we build the biggest stadium and the best stadium in world football and charge the most tickets for this very reason? Yet the moment you have standards, it's, oh, no, you're the problem. Your standards are too high. Oh, sorry, forgive me. Forgive me for having standards and wanting better than fucking Vicario and Solanke. Guys, I'll end this with this fan base has what it deserves. I've said it for years. We get Vicario and look at the pedestal. This guy can't catch a ball. Like, this guy, what are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Sorry, what are we doing?
Can I just answer Alex on one thing? Alex, you mentioned just. Can I just track back an hour or so? Just wanted to say one thing that I didn't get a chance to say before. You mentioned about Van der Ven. He's had 3 hamstring injuries now in 14 months of playing. How do you mitigate a risk when someone's obviously got a weakness like that? You don't play at such a high line and expect him to sprint 50 yards on 101 occasions every match. That's how you do it.
Agreed. Yeah.
Alex Sava Hasper, you got any shows coming up, by the way?
Well, the cat's out the bag where I'm going to be next week. I'm not going to be in the country, so you'll find out what's going to happen on Mr. Box Office TV. And
You're gonna be on stage with Trump, aren't you?
No.
On election night. Yeah, it's going to be Trump. Meet my man Alex. Can you imagine? Hey, to all the Republicans, Mr. Box Office, I'm here.
I'd vote for Alex if I was in America.
He's amazing. He's amazing. So amazing. He's so amazing.
Still, what time you live Sunday?
I believe 9 p.m.
Because we kick off at 2, so we should finish by that.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Because I'm bringing back the Spurs review, but I'm gonna push it from this Sunday to the Sunday after because I don't want to encroach in your show.
You can go early if you want. You can go like 7 till 9.
No, I'll start it a week after, mate. I'll be streaming for the game for 4 hours anyway.
The thing is, at the moment, Spurs have got a lot of games on Sundays though, because of the Europa Cup.
Yeah. Anyway,
what time would?
Yeah, that's right away after Sunday, right? I think, and then we got.
Saba, stay backstage. We'll have a quick chat on this. Stay backstage 1 minute. People, thanks for watching as always. Love you all. Thank you. We'll be back on the weekend. Check out everyone's channels, all their shows. Have a good one. Peace.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.